you Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Tabletop Notch.
Yeah.
Today is episode 26. I hope you all had a lovely Thanksgiving. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We're happy to be here on this Sunday with everybody. We're going to dive in a second. Does anybody have any shout-outs, thoughts, questions before we...
Happy birthday to Matt.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Loud and clear.
Thank you very much.
Birthday
Wait.
boy.
That way.
Follow me.
Right there.
My arms
Do
not
I
long
look
enough.
centered there? Because of the...
You look so centered, both
Yeah,
emotionally
so
and...
centered.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean...
Physically
I was
and grounded.
Physically, was there any shout-outs that we missed, subs or anything that we didn't get a chance to last time?
Shout out already to Merlin Magus again, who donated another 100 bits. You're the best. Thank you. Wheezing, you
Ooh,
need to
the
send me
little
your
pre-show
message.
shout-out.
I'm sorry if I missed it, but I checked last night and I didn't see one yet. So
Yes, please
if
do.
you
We'd love to
message
add
us
something to the guest
next
book.
week. It's going to be in the book.
And we had a host, I think. I don't remember if we shouted that out.
Last
We had a-
week?
We had a host.
Kasumba, yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you guys so much.
So thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thank you.
Yes.
We love doing the show. We'll continue to do so.
It's okay.
Yeah. Leah's ambivalent. The rest of us don't.
I mean, I guess I'll stick with it at this
Going
point.
on.
I'm already knee deep in it, so. Okay.
Temper that.
All right, let's do what we do and roll that intro.
Roll that intro.
Serious face.
No.
And we're back.
I don't. No.
In chapter 25, Wrath from the Past. The party gathered briefly in the lobby of the Lakeside Inn to enjoy a warm meal before splitting up to tackle the many leads that had popped up over the past couple days. After receiving an unexpected letter from the innkeeper Prescott, Safira made her way outside the city walls to the docks where Lieutenant Colonel Massif wanted to check in one last time before he departed from Mukmu. He gave her an item that she had requested and wished her luck, thus freeing up the early afternoon for her to ask Wadu at the local arcane shop if there was anything nefarious about the lemonade that she'd acquired the night before. Meanwhile, Graven, Erland, and Orba were hatching a plan to dip their toe into the city's black market, sending the Tiefling into Wesley's bauble shop with a magical disguise to see if he had any way to acquire a first edition copy of Grimari's giant grimoire. Wesley proved difficult to read and gave Orba an uncomfortable feeling that she couldn't shake, and the party decided to drop the pursuit, or at least table it, until after Jillian's scouting mission. Beezaura branched off to meet her fellow halfling Ferd, who'd concocted quite an intricate plan to enact revenge on the two former appraisants, Chelsea Danita and Micah Denhall. We snuck through the back of the first house posing as gardeners, and after laying out the silent spell scrolls, we went to work tearing down from the inside out. Things went about as smoothly as possible, but it was at the second residence that Ferd found an item that triggered him into a violent rage, using a potion of fire breathing to ignite the interior. Beezaura was unable to vacate the premises without being noticed. Was able to vacate the premises without being noticed.
What did I
Sorry, spoiler
Oh,
alert.
God.
Yeah. You're off.
And without injury.
Gotta cut my hands here.
But Ferd was not so fortunate, and some of the soldiers of the city watch apprehended him after breaking down the front door.
Friend.
Erland took a moment to make good on his word to Adept Melody by delivering an item to Vaclav Foyle, but he was indisposed and under the care of his wife, who refused Erland entry until she reached a point of desperation. Graven brought Orba to the temple of Lakafuyu to track down the Goliath that they'd heard was a priestess there. He was able to locate her, but got a little more than he bargained for when Kuuzni intervened in retaliation for Graven's disobedience. As he came to at the Lakeside Inn, Graven found that some time had passed that was unaccounted for. And while he tried to put those pieces together, Orba struggled to come to terms with what she had seen. What would Graven learn, if anything, from this fellow Goliath that seemed to recognize him in such an unlikely place? Would Beezaura walk away from the fire without anyone suspecting her involvement?
Oh boy, I hope so.
And how jealous is Erland that this Vaklov guy has cool plant powers just like him?
The answer is zero.
We find out now on chapter 26 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. The meandering nature of the citizens of Mukmu at this afternoon hour has been replaced by a concentrated frenzy in the area just north of the Natural Studies Institute. Men and women of the City Watch rush to make a perimeter around the home of Micah Denholm, utilizing pipe poles to tear down charred walls, smothering the flames with sand and water as they try to contain it from spreading to the nearby houses. Moving quickly in the other direction with her head down, Beezaura uses a sleeve to subtly wipe a bit of ash from her face, and she keeps her head down, familiar enough with this part of town to steer herself towards the Lakeside Inn without drawing any undue attention. Occasionally, Beezaura hears a city official scuffle by, explaining in haste to the person next to them the nature of the fire to another volunteer, and you pull the straps of your knapsack tight as you remember the stolen potion bottle, and hope that Ferd's loyalty to his halfling brethren will keep his lips sealed tight, assuming he survives to get the chance. It's at this moment that Beezaura hears a familiar voice ring out above the general hubbub surrounding her. And you look up to see shining buckles and the clicking of reinforced boots belonging to Gravekeeper Yannick.
Okay.
And he's talking to himself as he moves quickly through the square. Important matters to attend to. Could have told me that hours ago when I arrived. And he sort of stomps his way through, and you see him kind of pass in front of him. Where are you headed?
He already passed me?
Well, he's not far from you. He sort of watched him move in front of you. Because you kind of had your head down,
right,
trying to avoid any kind of... But you heard his voice. You're familiar with Yannick.
Right.
It would be easy to catch up to him, or you can...
Yeah, we'll catch up with him later. I kind of want to get out of here.
you're not right next to the fire, either.
Oh,
You've now...
yeah?
I mean, you've walked a little ways away from the fire.
Your foot's not halfway out the window.
Yeah, right. I'm still there. Hey, Yannick.
Soot.
Yeah. Important matters to attend to. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to...
That's okay. You can see that he's visibly upset. I mean,
Yeah.
You know that he went to meet with Skents at the reservation. He told you that.
Yeah. He's fairly close?
Yeah, he is fairly close to him.
Mr. Yannick.
And he sort of stops, and he sort of turns on one foot. His heavy boot kind of makes a little ring in the dirt below. Oh, hello. It's good to see you again.
You too. May I ask just... How are you since, before?
I'm fine, thank you. My sight has returned to me more or less.
Good.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to gain an audience with Cedric Skents as of yet.
Where are you off to now?
I've got one other plan. I was at the reservation center, and more than once I stressed the importance of my message, but I was told that Skents had a critically important meeting that could not be interrupted. A few minutes ago, word reached the reservation center that a fire had broken out nearby, and they said that the center would be closing temporarily so the guards could help contain the fire. Skents never emerged, and there is no back exit out from his office, so he's either still in this supposed meeting, or he hopped out a window, or he was never there to begin with.
Bizarre. Do you know who the meeting was with?
No, Uriel would not tell me that.
Shame. And what about this fire? I saw the commotion. Do they know how it began?
Not yet. Again, it only happened a couple of minutes ago. I have no idea what Uriel stands to gain from simply wasting my time, but my apologies to you and your friends if you visited the graveyard to discover my absence.
Sorry, we were worried. We were thinking of stopping by later to see how you were doing.
Yes, well, I plan to come back to the reservation center in the evening after the fire's been dealt with.
perhaps you or any of your friends could join me. Perhaps the presence of more than one of us would signal the importance of my message.
Understood. I'll relay the message to them. What time do you think you'll be there?
8 o'clock.
All right. We were going to stop by the graveyard around 3, so...
Well, if anyone wants to consult me further, I'll be there. I am headed to meet a friend of mine at the moment. His name's Pavo McManus. Pavo has experience with mining and construction. I'm interested in possibly getting him to dig a few deep holes in or near the graveyard, hoping that I might unearth some soil or anything else that might be tainted by this.
And he sort of leans in a little quiet.
Miasma. With a decent sample, an experienced tracker or user of magic might be able to find the source or at least tell me where the vapors are the strongest.
It's a good idea.
So I'm gonna visit him and then I'll head back to the graveyard.
We'll meet you there. Plan out what to do for tonight to get to the reservation center and get some more information. Relay what we found.
Excellent. How have you all found your wounds healing?
We're making it through. I'm gonna catch up with them a little bit later. I'll see how they're doing.
That's good. I hope that the battle wasn't overly taxing. I wish I could offer you more.
He sort of stutters a little bit and
Monetarily, I mean. But you have to understand, if I'm to find the source of this magic, there's a few other people I need to hire as well, so I'm doing the best with what I have.
We appreciate it. What we can do to help is all yours.
And he sort of looks you, and for a moment, like sort of the frenzy of the square around him, and his sort of, flustered of the meeting he just wasn't able to get. He sort of breathes for a moment.
Thank you.
Of course. See you at the graveyard.
I'll see you there.
Good luck with your meeting.
I'll either see you at the graveyard or if something comes up, again, I'll be at the center around 8.
Got it. Good day.
Good day.
And his footsteps kind of stop through the square.
I'm gonna head back to the inn.
Great. And you make your way back to the inn, and it seems pretty quiet at the inn, in addition to not being a particularly busy time of day. It's past lunchtime, not quite dinner time. But in addition to that, it seems like some of the people here might have rushed out to help with the fire, or, it seems fairly emptied out in here. You see Prescott, there's a couple other people in the kitchen area.
Good afternoon, Prescott.
Oh. Hello?
How are you?
Excellent, how are you?
Good. Did you see any of the others that I was staying with?
Not since this morning, no.
Oh, all right. I think I'm just gonna take a little rest in my room.
Oh, please do.
Good afternoon.
You go upstairs. You open the door. There's no one in there. You have a moment here. Your armor's still sitting there. You have all your things.
I just sit out for a second. I'm
You
like,
have a moment to collect your thoughts.
I forgot.
I take the knife out of my bag, like the cooking knife, and I'm like, I guess I didn't need this yet.
It has a little bit of black char on it, like where it was there. And it.
I'm like, I think about keeping. I'm like, oh, it's a knife, and I just
It's a
lay
decent
there.
quality.
Yeah. I put all my armor back on, and just kind of lay back for a second, just to relax.
You sort of let the events kind of finally a time.
Just sit there playing with my knife.
Starts another fire. Yeah.
You take a breath as sort of, the events of the past few hours kind of come to terms. You can finally sort of breathe without looking suspicious as if you were running or, escaping in any way. Is there anything you'd like to kind of do here as you're thinking, resting?
Can I take out the potion and take a look at it?
Sure, you can.
I mean, I probably won't know what it
Which
is.
color did you grab again?
Bright green.
Yeah, it was a bright green. You can make an Arcana check and see if you've seen this anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Never done that. I'm not magical. Yet. You never know.
I find you magical.
Aww.
Thanks. That's very sweet. I technically can't hear. 17.
Wow.
So you don't have a ton of magical expertise.
Right.
However, you've come across potions before. It looks like it's recognized. It looks like something you've seen before. It's a potion of poison resistance.
Just in case Erland tries to poison.
You never know.
Good to have handy.
Remember, looks like.
Right. It's really just Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That I sold way back in the day. I wouldn't know, but just out of curiosity.
You sold a potion of poison
Oh,
resistance?
antitoxin. Never
Yeah,
mind.
not the same thing as an
Got it.
So this would, whereas an antitoxin would nullify the effects of a poison, this actually reduces poison damage that you take. So if you
Okay.
were fighting something that venomous, like a snake creature or something that you suspected was a venomous creature, this could, make it much more difficult for you to take damage from.
Okay,
from a creature
so
like that.
I would have to drink it after I would be affected by it.
No, you would drink it before.
Before
It lasts for
oh.
an hour.
So
Yep.
it would lessen.
Yes. So if
the
you
harm.
saw a creature
Okay.
like that, you would drink it ahead of time as a sort of preparation.
Got it. Sorry.
No, that's
Preventative measures, no deductible.
Right. Understood. So then I put it back.
nothing
in my,
like those insurance
Put
jokes.
it back in my knapsack,
Sure.
and I'm gonna keep the knife for as long as I can.
Sure.
And my
Also, as you're sort of looking over the bottle,
Yeah.
you do notice that the bottle has kind of a unique shape to it. It doesn't have any letters or anything like that, but it's not sort of a standard vial or potion
Right.
bottle. It does look handcrafted, so you might be careful about. You get the impression that
someone made
yeah,
this.
I mean,
special.
most people probably wouldn't recognize it, but if it was someone who used a lot of
Interesting.
potions, it looks like it has a unique design to it. It kind of has like a sort of waving shape to it, sort of a snake sort of moving up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Guys, I found this.
And Beezaura checks it out the window.
Right. I'm just gonna pour it into a cup. All right. Okay.
You could transfer the contents of it, but
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
the
gonna
bottle
keep
itself,
it
yeah.
for now. That's interesting though. I'm gonna take that to the bank. Okay, I'm gonna put it back in my bag. Put all my armor on again because I need it back on, and then after I'm gonna take a couple breaths, just like clean up my face a little bit,
Sure.
so I don't look suspicious, and then I guess can I knock on the boys' door just to see if they're in there?
You sort of come out, and now you're clad in your armor.
Yeah.
You sort of give a knock. No response.
Nothing. All right, it's probably like 2-ish.
Yeah, it's a little later than that, maybe 2:30-ish.
So maybe I'll go down to the kitchen with my guys
Yeah.
and get something to eat down
Yeah, you can. Are you taking the knife down with you?
there. Sure.
You don't have to.
I mean, I have it in my bag.
Okay, yeah, you've got it with you.
Yeah.
So you head back down to the kitchen.
I'll go down to the kitchen.
And we're gonna head over to outside of Gwendolyn's drinkery, sort of in the northern end of town. And Safira stands 40 or so feet from the seating area outside Gwendolyn's drinkery, having just devised a plan to enlist the young and disenfranchised to track down access to the city's underground. And as she kind of ruminates on where this might lead, you catch sight of something unusual. Maybe 30 paces away, a young tiefling man with brownish red skin and short antler-like horns protruding from his braided hair stands with a whistle in his right hand. And about 5 feet in front of him, there's a small litter of wolves, silver and black markings. Not puppies, but not grown either. And they sit up tall and they kind of watch the activity in the vicinity. And occasionally one of them will get up out of a seated position, at which point the tiefling man will shout a command, which will sort of bring it back down. You hear him start, "Shaway!" And the wolf will sit back down.
Oh, wow.
Sit! Good girl. And he sort of is watching over them. And you get the impression that they're in sort of the middle of a training session of some kind. He's not doing anything. He sort of has the whistle ready, and he's watching the wolves. And one of the wolves kind of gets up for a second. "Shall we sit?" And instead of sitting, the wolf kind of takes a couple steps towards you. Takes a couple more. Ah! And you hear him kind of snap. And the wolf keeps getting a little closer and a little closer and a little closer. And it gets to within about 5 feet, and you hear him, "Shall wait! Shall wait!" And finally he takes the whistle and he tweets, at which point all the wolves immediately go into a lying position. They all sort of hit the ground, and their ears are down, and their heads down. "Sorry about that. I brought this litter into the city to socialize them, get them used to having people around. They're usually better behaved than that."
It's alright, and I've kind of, when I saw it coming towards me, I kind of dropped down to
Sure.
the ground and kind of put my hands out.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to
like pet it.
You're good with animals.
Yeah, cheers. I grew up with them.
I normally train dogs, but found this litter of wolves not far outside of town. A trained wolf can earn you a pretty penny, so I'm here trying to get him used to a town life.
Yeah. And this one, what's her name?
That's Sylvie. She's good most of the time. Where did you work with animals?
Just here and there, you know. I travel around a lot.
And he sort of looks at you. Sure. Doesn't really press the issue. Yeah. I run a kennel outside of the city walls, just across a road from the cemetery. Training dogs, like I said, but there's a thicket that I was going through to teach one of my dogs to track down foul birds, that kind of thing. And there was this litter of wolves, abandoned. Possibly their mother was killed in a fight or something. And they've taken to the training very well, except for one. But what can you do?
I'm assuming this is the one.
Oh no, she's excellent. She's not here. I couldn't bring her into the city. At first she was my star pupil, seemed to be the most perceptive of the bunch. Great instincts, good agility. But she quickly became nigh impossible to control. She's too independent, unpredictable. My niece calls her Taboo, because she's not allowed to see her anymore. Wolf is always a favorite, but I thought it too dangerous to keep letting her near it until it could be better trained.
That's strange. Did anything happen before she started behaving strangely?
I think she just started to grow up, you know. I'm sure you're aware, they have different personalities. Some of them take to the training better than others. And at this point, Sylvie, the one in front of you, who's kind of gotten back up into a seated position, is kind of sniffing at your leg. She kind of moves around to the back, kind of at your backpack, and and is kind of sniffing around. And he kind of doesn't really notice this, kind of engaging with you.
And I've been kind of noticing her doing that. I'm not gonna move her at all or stop her from doing anything, but I'm just gonna ask him. So you said they go for a pretty penny.
I can, yeah, if they're well trained.
How much?
For a good, strong wolf, well trained, $7.50.
And say if I wanted to take on some of the training myself.
That's like, well,
You're talking about Taboo.
Yeah.
I'd suggest that you meet her first before you commit to that.
And if I wanted to meet her?
I could take you to her. Like I said, it's near the cemetery. It's not far from here.
Well, I think I'd like to meet her. And can I kind of... Is it super rude when I know if it's super rude if I pick up the puppy?
It's not tiny. It's not like this small. I mean, they're like adolescents, so you'd be kind of...
it's a wolf.
Yeah, it's a wolf, like an adolescent wolf. It's decently big. It's not tiny.
Strong.
Yes, you are. Would you like to pick it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Make an animal handling check.
Oh no. Oh no. 11. Oh no, wait. That's a 6, not a 9.
That is a 6, correct.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. So you pick it up, and it seems like, based on its training, it's trained to just resist that kind of thing. It was stranger. So as you go to pick it up, it immediately, it doesn't hurt you, but it immediately retreats. It sort of pulls its way, and it kind of gets its ears down. Like it feels like it did something wrong because it was sort of touching someone it wasn't supposed to.
Kind of seeing that because I'm on my knees, I'm gonna kind of put my head down, and my hand down, and let it
Sylvie,
relax.
it's all right. I mean, he sort of motions with his hand, and the wolf kind of licks at your hand.
Okay. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've been around. Well, actually, I've not spent very much time with wolves, but dogs.
Even well-trained wolves are less predictable than dogs, for sure.
Yeah. And I kind of motion for him to lead the way to me.
Sure, and he sort of turns for a second, and he turns back. Teo.
Oh, Safira. Sorry. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Let's take a walk.
Yeah.
He sort of walks, and he sort of motions to the wolves. He sort of, and they all kind of get up, and they start to follow, and they kind of move behind. And the two of you are walking sort of toward the north gates. So, you from Mukmu?
No, not originally. Are you?
Yeah, I've lived here most of my life. I started up north near Dillasoon, but my parents moved down here when I was probably 8 or 9 years old.
And you've liked it so far?
Sure. Well enough. Come from a long line of animal trainers, so my father was a master of hounds up near Tillersoon.
You say you train across the street from the cemetery?
Sure, yeah, my kennel's there anyway. I'm not always there, but yeah.
Your dogs ever notice anything odd around that area?
Odd in what way?
Don't know. Just cemetery, ghosts, spirits. One hears things.
Yeah, I know Yannick. Yannick, the gravekeeper, you know Yannick?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's across the way, and he warns me if he feels like the spirits are restless. I haven't had too much of a problem with it lately, but heard some noises last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, some crashing and banging, but I checked in with Yannick and he seemed to think it was alright.
Huh. Crashing and banging. Coming from where?
The cemetery, flashes of light.
Oh. Right.
I don't have anything to do with magic, so I couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah, neither do I.
I leave it to Yannick.
Seems like probably the best policy. So, this wolf, you said her mother probably dead. Anything that unusual? Find a litter of wolf pups around this area?
I would say, yeah, probably. The thicket that we found him in, it's just probably an hour's ride north. I go there all the time. There's a couple ponds there. There's birds, there's small creatures. It's a good place to teach hounds how to track, smells and sights and sounds. It's pretty quiet. And we came into a sort of clearing, and there was a large tree, and they were at the base of the tree, kind of crowded in a little bunch. 5 of them. Like I said, you see 4 of them here, and then I've got Taboo over at the kennel.
And there was no body, no sign of the mother?
No. It's possible they were abandoned, or the mother was killed and they wandered the way over there.
How far north are wolf pups usually? Or not north or anywhere. Where do they live usually?
Wolves aren't terribly uncommon in this area. You find them here and there. But to find a litter without a mother, that's more unusual. I didn't want to just leave them there, so I took them with me.
And I'm a tracker, so I would know what kind of things would be able to kill, like, a wolf.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you've seen some of the beasts also. An owlbear is definitely capable of killing a wolf. I mean, some of the larger beasts and creatures in here, yeah.
Okay. And would I know, sort of ecologically, if there's any reason that... Do you know what I mean? Like, that we might... Is there, like, something happening where we're encroaching on land in this area?
In what way?
I mean, does that signal anything to me?
That a wolf would be dead here?
That they're found in this particular area without a mother. Does that signal?
Make a nature check.
9.
So it would be unusual if his sort of estimate is correct, just an hour outside the city. That would be an unusual spot for a lot of creatures to be wandering through if it was near the main path, just because of the traffic there. Like, unless they knew there was vulnerable creatures to hunt, that would be an unusual place for them to be.
Right.
But you don't get the impression that signifies any kind of like that because that's dead. That means something's in the woods. Yeah, like some kind of not necessarily like that. Okay. Yeah. Nothing seems particularly nefarious about it, or like, ooh, that signals something. I know.
No, and then the. So the area that he's describing to me with like the pond and that kind of thing, that's like an hour away.
He said it was an hour's horse ride away, yeah.
Okay. Is that in any way unusual to me? I know I feel like I'm asking a lot of strange questions.
Is what unusual? No, that's okay.
But like the sort of the pond and the area and the wildlife, the way he described it to me, is that typical of the area surrounding it?
Yeah,
okay.
that doesn't seem. There's a number of. I mean, when you guys were coming up,
strangely like an oasis about this.
No, it's like when you guys were coming up to Pucara and you stopped with the Redeered Elves, they stopped near a reservoir of water in the woods. I mean, that's not an uncommon land sort of. Yes. A combination of land masses.
So nothing unusual here. Okay. Okay.
Certainly not. I mean, if you went there might be more to see, but just hearing that doesn't trigger anything. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're just right up here. He points, and you're sort of exiting out the city gates, and you see over on the left that you didn't really pay much mind to when you came out here before. There's a large property there. There's sort of a structure in the back left corner that's kind of barn-esque. It looks like it has a main floor and then kind of a raised sort of upper area that you could go into. And then there's a large fenced-in area. So there's a fence running sort of a large perimeter. And in the interior, it looks like there's a number of obstacles. So it looks like you would train the dogs there. It looks like there's also a couple of like scarecrow type figures that if you were teaching the dogs to attack or the wolves to attack, he has like a couple of those set up. So it seems like he has the yard kind of set up here for any kind of business of that kind. And, we keep taboo in the barn. We try not to spook her with people coming by.
Okay.
Again, I'm not trying to imply anything, but you do have good experience with animals because taboo can be scary if you aren't used to that kind of thing.
I'd like to meet her.
All right. He sort of walks. And he clicks open the fence, and immediately the wolves know that as kind of, this is their spot, and they run ahead of him, and they start kind of running around the yard, a few of them kind of playing with each other, and he sort of clicks the gate closed behind. We've got her in this, I hate to call it a cage, but it's sort of a locked-off portion of the barn. I'm not going to unlock it, but you can walk up. There's bars that you'll be able to reach through if you felt like petting her, although again, I warn you, probably not a great idea to do so.
Okay. And can I see the cage now at the...
He hasn't let you in yet, but he's got his hand on the barn. He kind of pushes it open. And as he pushes it open, it seems like there's stalls in here. It looks like it could house horses. There aren't any currently here at the moment. And then he sort of points to the back where there's, it looks like there's more than one kind of barred off area. And it's not like a steel cage, it's like a wooden kind of box cage kind of thing. You can see through the slits. And it looks like in the back corner there's a wolf sleeping back there, and it looks larger than the others, although he implied that they were about the same age when he found them, but it seems larger than the others. She's back there. I'm not sure if she's awake, but she will if you get close.
Can I ask you a favour?
All right.
Somehow I think she might like me better if that door isn't locked.
The door to her cage.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to unlock
I
the
think I'll
cage?
survive, yeah.
If something happens to you, it'll be my responsibility. You understand that?
Nothing's gonna happen to me. I can hold my own. I'll be fine. She's a puppy.
Make a persuasion check. Starting
Why do
hot
I
here.
try?
Starting real.
Real.
3.
Look, I'm sure you're very capable. I'd feel better if I just kept an eye on things. I've had one of my dogs attack someone before, and it was a whole mess with the city, so I don't want that to happen.
Okay, I can understand that. So can I just very slowly and carefully, I'm gonna go kind of up to her cage, and I want to sit about a foot away, sit down like with my legs crossed about a foot away from her.
And he looks like he, didn't want to open the cage, but he's sort of acquiescing a little bit, and he stands back a little bit. He's not like up there with you, and he kind of lets you walk up to it. And you sit at the cage, and you can see her in that, and you see the rising and the falling of the fur. It sort of has this, it's sort of a silvery sheen to it, most of the wolf's fur. And the wolf kind of hears you sort of sit quietly on the other side, and there's kind of hay on the ground, sort of sticks and dirt. And the wolf kind of, and it turns and it sees you. And it sort of gets up onto 2 feet first and shakes off some of the dirt. And then it starts to step towards you, and it gets close to, and there's these like wooden bars, and it's, its snout can kind of protrude a little bit, but it wouldn't be able to stick its head through. They're not that far apart. It kind of sticks out.
And I'm gonna kind of very slowly kind of extend my hand to the...
And you can sort of hear behind you a little bit of Teo's sort of footsteps shifting as he's trying to get a better view of what's going on. Make an animal handling check.
Big girl.
Handle that animal.
5. Gotta work on that wind up.
I know.
Bites her hand off.
So it gets close and then And it sort of makes a snort, and you feel like sort of the breath on your hand. It's sort of hot and warm, and then it sort of turns back, and it curls up, and it lies back down.
Okay. Okay. So seeing that she didn't protest, I'm gonna move about 5 inches closer to the cage.
Sure. How far? Where did you sit initially?
I sat
how
about
close?
a foot. I
Okay.
sat about a foot away. So
Okay, so you're getting even closer.
Yeah.
So now, if you reached out, you could definitely stick your hand through the bars at this distance. What do you do?
I'm gonna wait and see if she moves. First of all, does she respond to me moving closer to the cage?
Not yet.
She doesn't. Okay.
Are you trying to make some noise as to get her attention?
No.
You little shit.
Pay attention to me.
I don't think I have anything that I can give her as a snack. That's a good idea.
Well, you little snack.
What kind of snack?
Wet
A
snack.
liquidy,
Yeah, liquidy
lemonade snack.
Oh, good lord.
Well, okay, so she hasn't protested at all either. So can I look back and ask?
Let me see.
Do you you wouldn't happen to have anything she could eat, would you?
I can give you something, yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna stick your hand through that cage.
Not at the moment, no. But I'd like to give her a present.
And he sort of reaches, and there's sort of a sack hanging near the door, and he sort of reaches into it, and he takes out what looks to be, sort of a ratty little thing in his hand that's hard to sort of see. And he walks over to you, and he pinches, and then flicks his wrist, and a little mouse dangles out his hand.
Okay. So I'm gonna take the mouse by the tail.
Yeah, it's
And-
dead. It's not like.
Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of hold it close to the bar of the cage and just
And you hear sort of, and it turns and gets back up, and it sees it, and it immediately starts to step quickly towards you, and it sort of sticks its nose up. Are you sticking your hand through the cage or on the other?
No, it's
Okay.
on the other side of the cage.
And it sort of sticks its nose up, so it's poking its nose through the bars, and you can see it kind of licking on the other side.
So I'm gonna put it sort of on the floor in between the slats and kind of just slide it.
Sure. And it sort of looks at you for a second, and it gobbles it up very, very quickly. Okay. And then it sort of finishes, and it kind of looks at you, and you can see its ears kind of.
Can I put my hand out again?
Make an animal handling check with advantage. Now that you've given him a nice treat.
Now that he's not as hungry.
I hate this. Why am I still rolling this die? Oh, just kidding. I love this die.
It just needed some tough love. That's all.
21.
You are an animal expert.
And it goes forward,
Yeah,
and it sort of sniffs, and then it licks slightly, and then it kind of looks into your eyes, and it has this sort of deep blue eyes that it kind of looks at you with. It kind of has, it's sort of contrasting the silver mane that it has, and you see the eyes kind of, the pupils kind of light up and then flicker back down to normal again. Like it looked like it really focused in on you for a moment, and then it kind of went back to.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird.
And then it sniffs, and it puts its nose up near towards where the lock is on the door, and it looks at you.
And can I look to see if he was watching this exchange?
He watched you feed it. Yeah, he's sort of standing back a little bit. He kind of sees it. Seems like she likes you all right.
So, what do we think? Keys?
He sort of goes back to where you entered, and he takes there's a wooden thing with 2 pegs that he closes the door to the barn so that you couldn't, break out of here. And he turns back around.
So I catch the keys, and I'm kind of gonna make eye contact with taboo.
Sure.
Again.
And you also, as he tossed the keys, you could also see like he took the whistle was around his neck on a cord, and he took it off, and he like has it at the ready, sort of holding it.
And I'm gonna take the key and kind of look at her like I'm trusting you. And I'm gonna turn the lock and open the cage.
And it opens, and sort of the wall kind of shifts open.
And I'm just gonna stay sitting on the ground exactly where I am.
Sure. And it takes a couple steps towards you. And it looks at you again. And you could swear for a moment that the edges of its mouth turn up almost into a smile.
Oh my gosh.
And then it starts to run past you. And you could hear Teo like tweak the whistle, ignores it completely. And he seems like he's trying to position himself to block it from getting to the door.
Oh, golly.
And it takes a couple more steps, and it jumps up and turns into a blue mist, goes through the door, and it's gone. And you see Teo kind of, what the fuck? What did you do to her?
What did I do? What do you mean, what did I do? I didn't do anything. Why were you
You let her out of the cage. And he sort of takes the wooden thing and he opens it up again and looks out into the yard. She's gone. Shit. And you can see he starts to like gather some of his stuff and he sort of slings a bag over his. If that wolf gets out and attacks someone, it's gonna be my ass. Everyone knows I have it. And
What the hell is it?
I don't know. I've never seen that before. What did you
That's
do
the
to
thing.
her?
I didn't do anything. I'm gonna take off in the direction that I saw the wolf running.
And you sort of head off, and you get up to the fence, sort of the edge of the property. Make a perception check.
Come on.
This isn't an animal at all.
19.
19. So you see, sort of in a couple spots as you're running out and moving through the yard, bluish footprints that sort of glow for a moment, and then they disappear, and then you keep moving, another one. And it seems like it might be traveling invisibly through the area.
Like footprints, like dog footprints,
Yes,
right?
like
Okay.
wolf footprints, yes.
For a second there, I was like, what the hell?
You see human
is this?
footprints.
Human blue feet.
Okay, so I wanna follow where these footprints are going.
Great. So you start to move, and immediately you can hear he's got his backpack up, and he slings a leg over a horse that he's pulled around the side of the barn, and he rides up to you. Get on!
Look, you're gonna scare her. If she thinks she's going back into the cage, she's not gonna come.
What do you expect me to do? I'm gonna trust you to go get her.
And I'm just kind of holding my, like, with great urgency, seeing that I know I'm a tracker, I can find her. Give me the reins now.
You want me to give you my horse after letting out my wolf?
Look, I'm sorry. I promise you I will... I don't know, I'll return the horse in good condition. I'll do what I can to get the dog back.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's about right. I don't have any. I don't know why I always look. 11.
Look, you can come with me, or I'm going without you. Those are your two options.
And I'm gonna leap onto the horse.
And he sort of puts his bag, sort of attaches it to a saddlebag next to him.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Where did you see the
And
footprints?
I'm gonna point in the direction that I saw.
And you guys start to ride. You start to move out. And we're gonna go over.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
So many animals.
Chaos is Mukmu.
Animal handling out of control.
And in the quiet northern quarter of the city, a thin shard of glass wriggles itself free from a cracked window. And it hits the ground with a tinkling noise. And heads turn quickly, but finding no threat, only a cleanup chore for later. Nadoya lets out a breath, and even a small chuckle, at the absurdity of her situation. That every sound, sight, and smell might signal another lapse in Vaclav's stable state as she looks over to him. And he continues to, with his eyes closed, sort of almost like someone snoring, but he's not asleep. You can see his eyes kind of flit in and out of consciousness, and that sort of labored breathing. And Nadoya sits there on the floor of the kitchen with her back up against one of the cabinets. really going to wait here with me?
At least for a while.
How is it that you know Adept Melody?
Honestly, I met her yesterday. Not very long.
And she trusted you with this item?
I used to study with one of her, I guess you could say, colleagues or mentors when I was much younger.
One of the people at the Institute now?
Someone who used to work at the Institute, yes. No longer works there anymore.
And, from her note, it says she's leaving town. Why is that?
I have no idea. Did Melody complain to you about being attacked or overrun by... Did you know Melody well?
We only knew her as Vaclav's contact at the Institute. He was trying to get these pellets from her.
Did she ever complain about being attacked by, supposed myconid addicts she complained of?
No. Did she say that to you?
Yes, she complained that I don't know why she left, but she did, in passing, mention that myconid addicts were prone to attack the Natural Studies Institute. Is this something you've heard of?
I don't know. I've been so focused on Vaclav's condition. I've been in and out of Mukmu. We were in Tuktu yesterday.
Both of you?
Yes.
What were you doing there?
We tried to find the man again.
Houghton, Joel Houghton?
Yes. He wasn't there, so we returned back here.
Why were you... When I was trying to enter, it seemed like you were trying to hide him behind this table here.
Most people, when they see Vaclav's condition, scream or run. But some of them think that he should be put out of his misery.
Have people been coming by to put him out of his misery?
No. But I've been called some nasty things for attempting to prolong his miserable life.
By whom? How many people know about this?
Everyone in this neighborhood.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did that seem entirely true, what she said about the hiding?
Sure. About what specifically?
About...
Natural one.
No, that was before I rolled.
roll that down right there.
About...
Just ask one more question.
When I asked her why she was hiding him, she was saying that it's because people were afraid of him or wanted to come out of her misery. I want to know if that's entirely true. It looks really bad now. 24.
She has, there's a bit of general hysteria about the situation around her, so it masks some of her, the way she's, you don't get any impression that she was making, she doesn't hesitate when she tells you that, nothing indicated about it that she was lying.
It didn't seem like she was leaving anything out about that, though.
Not particularly, no.
Cool.
Not intentionally, anyway.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen others bear witness to the growths protruding from Vaclav's mouth. Most of them screaming or turning away in horror. Where did you obtain a constitution so strong that such sights do not register a hint of disgust or surprise?
When you travel as much as I have and see as much of the world as I have, very little becomes surprising.
Traveling.
Sure. Is that strange to you? You've never met someone who's been outside Mukmu before?
I've been with Vaclav for 4 years, and no one who's ever seen what you just saw reacted like you did.
How do you mean? With that?
Focused, not panicked.
2 days ago, a man whose half of his body had been destroyed by... help me out on the explosion. was that called?
Which who? Necrocilium?
Necrocilium, yeah. 2 days ago, a man died in my arms, and half of his body had been blown off by Necrocilium. This is somehow better than that.
I'll be sure to tell MacLeod that. You have military background, then? You see wounded men?
Oh, that instance, that was an ambush I happened across at the crossing. Actually, you might know the man. He was, I heard word got to town. It was,
I heard about the attack at the crossing.
Yes.
Not sure if I know the man you're talking about.
a local man died at the crossing.
Well, I guess we wait then.
What? Did MacLeod ever give you any indication of what had caused this? Obviously, it's not natural. My best guess would be some sort of poison or substance either accidentally ingested or given to him, but you say a fisherman, so that seems unlikely.
That's what we thought at first, that it was some kind of disease or pestilence, but no one that we consulted thought that there were signs of anything they'd seen before. MacLeod started to believe that he was being punished by the gods.
Why did you turn to the Natural Studies Institute and not some sort of healer?
We went to healers.
And they directed you to the Natural Studies Institute?
No, but we turned to there when our options were limited. Believe me when I say I've tried everyone and everything.
You know that Adept Melody specializes in the study of myconid extract.
Yes.
Did she ever give you any indication as to why she was so interested in MacLeod? That seems highly suspicious to me.
I think that she believed because of what she was working on that it might be able to help him. I don't know if she thought it related to the extract specifically. Like I said, I don't really care. I just want him fixed.
Yes. Well, hopefully this Kali and charcoal does the trick. I would, as Melody instructed, I would, if muscle spasms continue on for too long, or if there's an intense negative reaction to sunlight, then you should seek out a healer additionally.
All right.
I say that in case he doesn't wake up while I'm still here.
Thank
But
you.
I'll wait with you for a time. What time is it roughly, by the way?
You sort of have a sense of it. It's
Yeah.
probably 2:30, 2:45.
I can wait with you for
Wait.
a short period longer.
Sorry. If I wish to reach you, where should I try to find you?
Staying at the Lakeside Inn at the moment. I don't know how long I'll be there. Again, traveler.
Sure. These pellets, assuming that he... And she looks over and kind of gently touches him on the shoulder, MacLeod. If he wakes up, these pellets will have proved useful. Can you get more of them?
I don't know. That's assuming Melody had more stored. Do you know where she lived? Where would you meet her?
At the Institute.
You could... So you don't know where she lives?
They have room and board at the Institute. I honestly never inquired as to her personal address.
I think that's a question to ask MacLeod himself when he wakes up. I don't know how to get more of these. I don't even know if more would be necessary. I would assume that if more would be necessary, Melody would have given us more.
Or she didn't have any more to give.
I don't know any other... I don't know where else you would go. I'm fairly new to all of this.
All right. And at this point, you hear a knock. And it's a specific knock. It doesn't seem sort of a general... You hear a... sort of a couple series of knocks. And immediately Nadoya kind of turns.
What is that?
And you see a look of confusion over her face, and then a little look of realization. Shit. I forgot. With all the fuss, With Vaclav in the state he's been in, like I said, I reached out to anyone that I thought might have any clue what might be wrong with him. There's a man in town who has some lesions on his skin. Similar to Vaclav, not as drastic. But I figured I was running out of options, I may as well ask. And she sort of gets up. And you hear the...
Who's this? What's the name of this man? So I'm going to say quietly.
I'd rather not leave him waiting. And she goes over the door.
I would... Nadoya. I don't want him to know that I'm here. Do you mind if... Can I hide in your kitchen?
She looks around. The kitchen, living room, this is one open area. The only rooms off to the side are a bedroom and like a study, I think there was, yeah. Or no, it wasn't a study, it was kept like fisherman equipment, like a storage room kind of.
So bedroom and storage area?
Yeah, those are the only two rooms off of the main room.
Please, I helped your husband. Can I stay? Can I hide in the bedroom?
Sure.
Don't let them know I was here.
I helped her.
And she sort of looks nervous for a second. Make a persuasion check.
Ooh.
Oh.
5.
Why is it important that you're not here?
I don't know who's my friend in this city and who's my enemy. I saved your husband's life. I can get you more collie pellets if this works, maybe.
All right.
I'm gonna retreat to the...
Where are you headed?
I'm gonna head to the... Is there a door on the bedroom?
Neither of them have doors.
Wait, I'm gonna head to the bedroom and sort of hide.
Sure. The bed is in such a way that you can hide on the other side of the bed. So yeah, you can get down.
Okay, I'm gonna hide on the other side of the bed.
Sure.
Yikes.
And
Can I hear? Is it close enough that I can still hear what's happening?
Yeah,
in there?
definitely. It's not a big home. None of the homes in this area of town are particularly large.
Great.
And it's one story. Like I said, it's 2 units, one on top of each other. And Nadoya opens the door.
Is there a window in the bedroom?
There's not a
Great.
window in the bedroom yet. And she clicks open the door. And you hear Nadoya first. I thought you said you were coming this morning. It's much later than I expected. And you hear another voice. Sorry about that. Norm here has been terribly uncooperative lately. Seems I'm constantly running behind. I've got Marvin looking into it. Oh my god. Now, let's take a look at your husband, shall we?
Can I ask a question? Does the voice I'm hearing sound familiar to me at all?
Make a perception check.
Oh my god, please.
Perception? 11.
It's hard to tell. You are not able to tell definitively.
Oh my god.
And you can hear footsteps come into the house. And it's not just 2 sets of footsteps. It sounds like there's other sort of... You hear a clumping of footsteps as they enter through the door.
Can I tell how many people there
Make
are?
another perception check.
Oh my god. How many windows are in this place?
Yeah.
14? Perception, you said?
Yeah. It sounded like, and you're sort of listening as they're sort of, as one voice talks and moves, you're sort of getting, and they sound like they have different weights to them. It sounds like there's 2 other people in addition to the 2 voices. You heard Nadoya and the other person, and then 2 more in addition to those. So 4 people besides you currently in the home.
Okay. If I were to... How are the sight lines in this room? If I were to stand up, would they see that I was hiding behind the bed, or is it sort of like alcoved so that I could conceivably, walk out and seem like I was just in the bedroom?
You immediately upon getting up, they probably would not see you immediately getting up. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
Oh my god.
So you hear the sets of footsteps, and it seems like one of them is particularly heavy. And as it steps, there's sort of a groaning of the floorboards, and sort of as it moves, and it's sort of heavy footsteps moving across the house. He seems to be in a more stable state at the moment. Let's take a look anyway, shall we? And you hear kind of as he kneels down onto the floor, and you get the sense that he's sort of kneeled near Vaclav. And he looks him over. I might be able to help. Why don't we take a walk over to the Natural Studies Institute? I have some connections there. And you hear Nadoya kind of, would it not be better to wait for him to wake up or at least regain consciousness? No. Norm can carry him. And you hear sort of as like a heavy knee hits the floor, and you hear sort of a scraping of hands, and it sounds like someone has reached down to pick up Vaklav. And you hear kind of a standing, and you can hear the person kind of come up a little bit and then stop. And then you hear the voice again that you don't know. Norm? Something wrong? You see what I mean? Terribly uncooperative. Norm? And you hear, and it sounds like he puts Vaklav back on the ground. And you hear,
Oh no.
sort of heavy sniffing. And then you hear the heavy footsteps again.
Does it sound like it's moving towards me?
It sounds like it's moving around the house.
Okay. Let me know if it gets
Let me know how
coming
it
towards me.
It's moving in your general direction.
Okay.
The house isn't big, so anywhere away from the door is sort of towards you.
I just want to make sure that they don't have a line of sight into the bedroom.
Not yet.
Okay.
Are you doing anything at this moment?
Not until it sounds like they're moving in a direction that they would start to be able to see into the bedroom.
If this set of footsteps keeps walking, it's going to get real close to the door frame. That would be able to see into the bedroom.
Okay, I am going to... He's moving around aimlessly or moving in direction?
Again, there's sort of a long main room that was the kitchen, living room area, and then off of that 2 rooms. So he's moving down the main room, and soon on his right he'll be able to see into the other 2 rooms, of which you're in one of them.
But I'm behind the bed. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying he'll be able to see into the room. He wouldn't be able to see you necessarily.
Okay, I am going to hop up onto the bed and lie down and pretend like I'm asleep.
Oh my god.
Are you closing your eyes?
I'm gonna have my body away from him so that my eyes can still be open.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like lying on my side, facing away, lying down.
Oh god.
And you hear a couple more footsteps. And then it stops. And it seems like it's close. Seems Norm found something that he likes. All right. The rest of us will go to the Institute. Norm knows where to find me. And you can hear Nadoya. Perhaps we should just wait. No. We're not going to wait. I'm already terribly behind schedule. When you sought me out for help, were you hoping I'd be friendly? Or were you hoping I'd be of service?
Oh god.
And she sort of, I was hoping you'd be able to help. That's good. Abby will carry Vaklav then, And you hear another kind of, sounds like someone else is at least
Oh my god.
picking up or supporting.
I hate this.
Yeah, this is the one.
And you hear,
People are there.
you can hear Nadoya kind of following them out the front door, and she sort of, watch out for, careful with this, and you hear the door close.
Okay, did it sound like either Abby or that guy who was talking, did it sound like any of them got into a position where they saw what was happening, or just Norm?
Nope.
Okay, since it's just Norm now, oh my god. Is he standing still?
You can't see it.
No, but I can see
You can't hear him. Yeah, you can't hear any movement.
Okay, I'm gonna
God.
slowly check over my shoulder and see what we're dealing with.
And you check over.
I don't
your
want to
shoulder.
show my whole face. That's kind of what I like.
Okay. I mean, he's gonna be able to see you moving if
Okay.
if assuming he's within. Are you trying?
Oh, I see. He's like, okay.
If he has vision into the room, which he might, you
Yeah.
can't see it yet.
weird.
If he does, he'll be able to see you
How
moving.
far
You're lying
away
on the
does it
bed.
sound like he was last?
Possibly just outside the door frame, maybe less than 10 feet.
Great, I'm gonna keep lying there.
Okay. And you hear kind of a little. Doesn't seem to be getting closer. Or further away.
Oh my god.
Are there no mirrors in this room? I'm just gonna keep lying there.
How long would you like to wait there?
If I wait for like even 30 seconds does he... Let's say 1 minute, and like just lying there.
A minute goes by, and you occasionally hear... heavy sniffing.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna close my eyes, and I'm gonna make like I'm just sort of stirring in my sleep and roll onto my back.
Okay.
Okay.
You do so.
And he doesn't move? Nope. Alright, we're gonna open like one eye closest to him and see what we're dealing with here.
Make a perception.
Oh god.
Twitch one elbow
What
and see
is
what happens.
happening?
Perception 18.
Crack an eye open ever so slightly on one side. And you can see the silhouette of the door. There was a little bit of light coming from the kitchen from a lamp that was in there. The bedroom's fairly dark. You can see a bit of a silhouette. A massive, hulking creature. At least 7.5 feet tall.
Oh my god.
And most of the body is obscured by what looks to be kind of a hooded fleece poncho. It has like a neck cut out, and then it's like draped over shoulders, like in a dome, all the way to the ground. And he's not making any sound beside the sniffing, but he does look like he's shifting quickly and constantly, almost in a way that makes it look like he's shivering. Like he's shimmying slightly.
So what does the head look like? Because you said it's cloak obscuring the whole body.
So he's got a hood,
hood,
and a cloak going all the way down the body, and yeah, there's like a cutout here, but it covers all of his body going all the way down.
Okay, what does the skin look like? Or can I see his face at all? Or what does the skin look like sort of here then?
In what way? What is the skin?
What, like, is it a Goliath? What kind of creature am I dealing with?
That's hard to tell from where you're at right now.
It's just Graven.
It's just, yeah.
Don't joke.
So, and it's just standing there.
Yep.
Erland's gonna just in the doorway to the bedroom too? Great. I'm gonna slowly start to sit up a little bit. Does he move as I start?
No.
I'm gonna sit up.
Just gonna slowly get up. And you're opening your eyes at this point?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, as I'm doing that, I'm gonna put the cloak up a little bit to obscure my face.
Okay.
And yeah, my eyes are now open fully.
Okay.
And I wanna kinda like turn to look at him so I'm obscured a little bit, but maybe get a clearer look at him with 2 eyes.
Take a little bit of a turn. Now you're sort of mostly sitting up.
It's like, I know, he's sitting at the foot of the bed, sort of like looking at him.
And he reaches up with kind of a big palm. The hand doesn't look deformed anyway, but it's a big hand. And he reaches up and he pulls the hood back from his cloak. And you can see underneath, and it looks like he has some elven features, pointed-ish ears, a sharp chin. But one side of his mouth extends out into his cheek and a little bit down the side of his neck.
What?
So that when it breathes heavily, it seems to open up this gash, both in his mouth and the side of his neck. And like one would lick their lips, a tongue protrudes and it runs along the perimeter of this maw, kind of all the way down and across.
Does it have eyes?
Yeah. Other than the mouth and its size, it doesn't look terribly disfigured or disformed in some way. And you can't see you can't see its body. The rest of the cloak is still sort of draped over its body.
And it still hasn't moved. Okay. I'm gonna come to standing. And I'm gonna move to the other side of the bed.
Sure.
But that sort of squares me off with it a little bit, right?
Like facing square?
Yeah, like with my hood up as well.
Sure.
And it gives no indication of what it's... Alright.
And you hear?
I'm gonna say... In Elven... Gnome, I presume?
Oh shit.
Lovely. Is there any... In the bedroom, is there any... what's this bedroom look like? What do I got here?
Very simply furnished.
Okay.
Bed, there's a dresser, and there's a side table that looks like it has like a sconce with a lamp. It's not lit, but that like a place for a lamp there.
There's no leftover food or anything in the bedroom or anything like that?
No, not that you say.
Okay.
Is there something you're looking for specifically?
It's leftover food.
Oh, no, there's no food that you've seen, no.
Dead rats.
Yeah, something.
Nice.
Those have seemed to work so far.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave now. Elvin. Is that alright with you? Alright. Man, there's nothing I can do. It's just okay. I'm gonna start to take a step towards him. I'm gonna sort of walk around the bed, take a step towards him. My sort of hands out at the ready. And he's just not flinching.
How close are you getting to him?
Okay. Are there any, is there anything that is, like, palm-sized in this room that I could grab? Like, are there lamps?
There was a lamp in the sconce on the other side of the bed. Yeah.
Like a bulb sort of lamp?
Yeah, you could take it off if you wanted to.
And it's not currently on fire, is it?
No, it's not lit. Yeah, it's not lit.
Great. Anything heavier? Slightly heavier that I can still pick up?
That's pickup size like that? No. Just a couple pieces of furniture, not some clothing that's sticking out of a drawer, but yeah, you don't see any.
Okay, I'm gonna walk back, grab the thing, and just go. I'm gonna steal this. Is that all right with you?
What?
All right. And I'm gonna sort of walk up, and I'm gonna be maybe, I don't know how big the room is, but like, let's say 10 feet away from him. Okay. And in hopefully one move,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna throw this glass thing, aiming for its face, and try and run and slide out past him and get into the main room.
Make an attack roll.
Okay.
And use your dexterity modifier just flat as because this is an improvised weapon.
Okay.
So roll d20 plus your dexterity modifier as the attack roll.
Plus my dexterity modifier,
Yep.
so 9.
9 misses.
Okay.
So you throw the sconce, and he sort of, even though he seems like he moves with heavy steps, he seems to see it coming. You toss it, and he immediately sort of just sidesteps it just enough to see it go by him, and it kind of crashes behind him. And you did what? You were sort of sliding
And I was
by.
trying to run and slide past him.
Make an acrobatics check as well.
Good lord, Erland.
12.
So you go to slide by him, and you see a hand sort of reach up kind of underneath the cloak, as if an arm is reaching up, and the wall of wood emerges from underneath his cloak.
God.
In sort of 4...
Oh my god.
And it attaches to the ground below. So it sticks out and attaches to the ground, and you slide, and you hit it. So you're like at his feet.
Oh my god.
Looking up at him, and he's stuck something out from his cloak to block you from moving.
So there's no, it literally has covered the entire doorway, this thing of wood?
Like sliding by him, there's probably like up here is empty. Like below his arm, he is walled off.
Okay, so if he did that, I would,
I see your
Wait,
bark fingers.
is it?
Praise you.
it's a wall of wood,
Yes?
not bigger than me?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna try and hop up over, can I hop up over that, his arm?
Sure, make an acrobatics check.
Come on, man. 8.
8. So you go to hop over, and he raises the other arm,
Oh dear God.
and it looks like out of his fingertips, a number of thorns or vines fire out. 18 to hit.
18 hits.
You take 9 piercing damage. As you go up to leap over, and you're pelted by a bunch of these little as they crash across your chest. Make an initiative roll.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get into a battle right here.
I mean, 20.
20, 16. So it's you
Yeah.
and then him. What are you doing?
How...
This is insane.
Okay, oh my god, I was not prepared for combat. Okay, how...
So he right now has one hand jammed into the ground that's sort of fused with the wood in the floor, and the other one is sort of up, just like you can see the cloak kind of draped up out of his arm as if he just fired.
So sort of where am I in this moment then? Because if I slid and hit that and then kind of hopped up and took damage, am I just like standing literally right next to him?
You guys are right next to each other, within 5 feet of each other.
Okay. Can I... Do we say using a... What would using a... what would using poison be? Would that be an action or would that be a bonus action?
In a bottle?
Yeah.
You could throw it at him as an action. Yeah. That would be an improvised weapon to throw a bottle of poison. Yeah.
Okay. Can I then, if I'm that close to him, can I take the? And he has this big fucking mouth, right? Can I take this? Can I take the assassin's blood that I picked up if I'm right next to him and just smash it into his mouth?
Make an attack roll.
Wow.
It's just like the Rock. An attack roll with dexterity as
Yes, as your modifier, as if it was like an arm strike.
19.
19 hits. Yes. So roll it 1d4 piercing damage or slashing damage as the glass breaks against his jaw.
4 slashing damage.
Yeah, 4 slashing damage. And then what's the damage on the poison?
So assassin's blood is.
Or do you need me to look?
Creature subject to poison must make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
On a failed save, it takes 1d12 poison damage, as in poisoned for 24 hours.
Wow.
On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and isn't poisoned.
Ooh. 15.
So it's DC 10.
Okay, so it passes. Does it do anything on a fail?
So yeah, on a failed save, it takes 1d12. Creature must make a DC save. On a failed save, it takes 1d12 poison damage as is poisoned. On a successful save, it just takes half damage, so 1d12.
Great. So do 1d12.
Is it d12?
That looks like a 10.
It's a 10.
It's the only not
It's
pyramid
got the 12.
one.
Yeah, I'm apparently shaking.
I'm apparently shaking.
Oh, rounds down, yeah?
Yep.
So 1. And it's poisoned for 24 hours.
Even if it
Oh, no,
passes.
sorry, it's not. No, it's not. It's not poisoned.
Got it. So you go and you smash it, and you can see it kind of dribble into its mouth, and it kind of dribbles down its chin, and it kind of licks the poison off from around its lips.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like
Absolutely.
That was delicious. Thank you.
Great, so I am going to... Has he gotten a good look at my face with my hood up? We've been pretty close.
Probably, yes.
You did just
Assuming that the
smash
creature is
something.
like giving you a look over.
This guy's he's tasted you.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to...
Gross.
Yeah, I'm going to use a key point and use... How big is this room, actually? How far is it from me to the front door?
20 feet.
20 feet? Great. I am using a key point to use Step of the Wind. So I'm gonna smash the bottle in his face and then bolt for the door.
Okay.
Basic, yeah.
So you're using the bonus action as a dash action, or?
Well, actually, you counted the... You can... to disengage.
Oh, you're using... Okay, so you're using...
I'm using it, so I smash it into him, and then I want to sort of like push off of him a little bit.
Got it.
And then use my 40 feet of movement.
Got it. So you're gonna have to make another acrobatics as you're attempting. He's still got his hand jammed in the floor.
That is fine.
Make an acrobatics.
You got it. Let's go.
No, I don't. 8.
8. You go to leap over it, and your foot catches on the upper part of his palm, and you sort of fall forward, and you have to scramble to get yourself up, and you are able to move half as much.
Okay, so that's still 20 feet.
Sure.
So
you're up to the door, basically.
So yeah, after smashing the glass, I push off of him, trip over the hand, and
Yep.
sort of scramble to the front door
Right.
and get a handle
So
on the
get
door.
up to the door. Great, and that's going to be you. And he sort of retracts the wood from his left hand, and he turns, and he opens his mouth, and a web comes out of his mouth as it comes out, and you see this sort of white stringy as it sort of sticks to part of the door and part of you. Make a... oh no, this is an attack roll, okay. 11 to hit.
11 misses.
Great. So you get to the door and you turn and you see the webbing and the sticky kind of coming, and you kind of duck and open the door at the same time, so it sort of sticks half on the door, and you hold it open, and now it's your turn. What are you doing?
Can the door open with the web still?
Yep.
Great, I'm opening the door.
Yep. And it sort of sticks against the webs and it kind of...
I am closing the door. and I am using 40 feet of movement to run down the stairs and just start running away.
You start to run, and we're out of combat.
Oh my! What was that? Norm was freaking nature.
Norm was nuts.
And we're gonna go over
Oh god.
Gosh.
What's going on?
to Orba.
Uh-huh.
And we get to the streets just outside the Temple of the Lakafuyu, where Orba has rushed out in sort of a panicked haste, and a number of the priests or robed figures sort of watch you as you ride. You sort of hear the wet footsteps against the ground as you kind of your boots are still a little wet from having walked through the temple. And you sort of bust out into the main thoroughfare, and you have a moment. People are kind of moving. You see the house that's on fire over to your right, and it seems like the city is in like a little turmoil as you look around. What are you doing?
Orba starts running. If I'm looking at the map correctly, as she exits, there's a road going straight, and then it goes out into two, like left or right.
Yes, so left would head towards the town square.
Left would go south, right would go north.
Yep.
Okay, so Orba, as that is her only road, she starts like continuously running, just saying, Graven, Erland, Graven, where do I go? And she hits the wall before she splits off onto one of the roads, and she sees the fire, and she smells it, and she thinks about the water that was boiling at her feet, and remembers what Graven said to her about Kuuzni and being taken away, and she immediately just goes, Kuuzni, and she runs to the New Kelke temple.
Okay.
She books it.
You're kind of pushing by the people are running in the opposite direction as they kind of head towards the fire, and you're sort of dodging and moving between the people.
Yeah.
They don't pay you too much mind. You kind of make your way there.
Great. Is there a way I can get into a like an alley, but still be going in the right direction so that I can?
Yeah, I mean the houses aren't butting up against. You could kind of dodge between a few of the houses.
Yeah, I take like a little alleyway that's alone and
Sure.
empty, and I cast disguise self, and I look. Let's give me like really simple attire, like a woman, but with bright red hair, just very distinct color. But everything else is very simple. I don't look rich or poor. Human woman, and I keep going.
And she's sort of running through. She takes out her back, takes the crystal, sort of says the spell. She's moving through, and like if someone watched, you would have sort of gone behind a house, and then on the other side, a woman appears that was not the tiefling that walked in before.
Yep.
Right? You look as you described. You
Great.
make your way.
Okay.
You sort of, and you make your way there, and you see the familiar sights. You've been here before. The sort of stone archway that opens up into the spacious chamber. Nearly the entirety of the room sort of being this open room with a large pillar in the center that you recognize the Mother God is there on the pillar. You see the mural that goes around the room. There's a couple people in here, not a lot. And it seems, and another man comes up to you, not the man before, but he comes up and says a familiar thing to you. Hello, are you
I'm
Abeyant?
Abeyant, please. Excuse me. And I just take command
And he sort
of myself.
And he watches you go by.
Yeah, and I head straight for Aya if she has a bowl.
Sure, she does. And no one's there at it.
Great. So are there oh shit, what are they called? The bushels. Beseacheries. Are there beseacheries within my grasp?
There's before you enter the ring where you go around the mural, there is like a basket of them that you can take.
Oh, okay, so she'll pass that, she knows the drill, so she's just gonna grab one immediately and just head to Aya.
Right.
And is there a rock or
yeah,
whatever?
there's sort of one of the striking stones attached on a chain that kind of, you have all the materials necessary.
Great, so she's just gonna just do one Hail Mary and just dive in and try to get her beseachery to light.
Make a dexterity check.
Dexterity, 16.
16, so and the flame goes up, and you sort of wait for a moment, sort of as before, waiting for it to kind of go out, and the flame holds.
Okay. Orba, oh god, she closes her eyes, and very quietly make sure that nobody is directly next to her, but maybe even in infernal, she whispers, Aya, please guide me on how I can defeat Kuuzni, please. And she waits.
The flame kind of burns. There's a little flicker, and it continues to burn. You don't hear anything yet, but you do hear a little giggle coming to your right.
To my right?
Yeah.
peek open my eyes a little and I look.
You look over. And you see a young elven girl. Looks kind of familiar. That you saw in the woods, the desecrated ground. The one who handed you the flower. And she's standing there at the altar next to you. The altar next to you is Rima, the god of promises. And she's sort of standing there at the altar. And you can't tell right away if she's incorporeal or in sort of a material form. You look around and there's only a couple other people here, but nobody seems to be acknowledging her, or really you. You guys are both sort of saying a private prayer. She stands there, and she again opens her hand, and there's another flower there. A white flower. Petals and black tips that kind of spiral around. And she looks up, and again she makes hard eye contact with you, and her mouth doesn't move, and you hear the voice again in her head, the same childish voice that you heard before. Why are you asking him how to kill a god, Orba? You already have the instructions.
What do you want with me?
To help you.
Last time did not provide much help.
You're wrong. Without the flower, you'd be dead. And she holds her hand out.
I cannot trust you anymore. What does this flower do?
Helps us keep an eye on you.
Who is us?
We are yours, Orba.
I don't understand.
We keep an eye on you so that we may serve you.
Serve me. Who is trying to serve me?
Have you not read the instructions, Orba?
I can't read them.
And she sort of holds the flower down back closer to her chest. I'll come back when you've read them.
I'm trying to learn.
And she sort of, the wisp starts to move away. She kind of disappears into a mist, into the room. You're left alone. No flower. You didn't take it from her.
Can I look at my beseachery? Is it still lit?
It's just sort of at the tail end of its flickering.
I'll look up at the mosaic of, I'm assuming Aya.
Make a perception check.
6.
Okay, you take a look up. Don't notice anything unusual about them.
I'm just going to bitterly smile and say, apparently I'm trying to talk to the wrong people. And I start to turn. And I find... Is the guy who originally spoke to us and greeted us there?
No. The one this time, or when you got there the first time?
The
It doesn't
first
look
time.
like he's there, no.
Okay. Great. I'm gonna go up to the guy who greeted me this time.
And he sort of is, minding his own business for the most part. He sees you as you approach.
Yeah, Orba collects herself a little bit to seem a little more calm.
I don't know if you know, it's customary to acknowledge all of the gods, even if you pray to only one.
I apologize. I did not mean to insult the gods. I entered here with quite a mission, and I'm settling down.
Would you like me to walk you through it?
I've been walked through by an associate of yours, actually, earlier. Thank you.
All right. And he seems a little like, not like angry, just like he's like, he wanted to show you how to do the ritual properly, and he knows that you didn't.
I have a kind of a strange question to ask you, actually.
All right.
I've been traveling for quite some time, and I've been chatting with a lot of strangers, and I always find other people's belief systems interesting, not, in a way of, I am not lost, but I do find other people's practices interesting.
We say abeyant rather than lost, but
Of course, yes, sorry, abeyant. But one that I didn't recognize the name of, I really don't have any kind of source, and I have no library here to investigate. But a traveler near the fork by the crossing brought up a god named Kuuzni.
Thanks for a moment.
And I'm like watching that reaction.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna use a different one. 8.
So you don't notice anything unusual. He does seem to sort of give it a hard think for a moment. Yes, I've heard the name. If I recall correctly, one of the gods of light.
Oh, I'm not very familiar with this belief system. What does it really entail? There's multiple gods of light?
Yes, Kuuzni, from what I understand, chooses a mortal to imbue with power every, I don't know, century or so. It's very uncommon to meet a follower of Kuuzni or one of his disciples.
Oh, interesting. Are there tales of his disciples and what they've accomplished?
Not around here, I don't think.
Fascinating.
This isn't a place where he's talked about very much.
Oh, sure.
You'd have to consult perhaps a religious scholar rather than I'm merely a priest of the church.
Of course, no, I just figured you might know. Are there religious scholars in Mukmu?
Mukmu? Probably not. You'd have better luck in Tuktu.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't wish to insult the gods or the temple or you. Would you mind walking me through?
Oh, yes. And he sort of brightens up at that. Yeah, please, please. And he sort of walks you around.
Yeah, or just very detached. She was just being cordial.
And he sort of walks you through and he nods, and as you said you were obeying when you came in, he sort of says the names out as he walks by. Rima, Kuya, Yakache, Lacarpe, and Alinyachi. He sort of walks around, and he sort of nods as he walks by, gives it a bow, and walks you around, and then back to the main pillar where the mother god is there. And he sort of touches his hand, and he motions for you to do the same.
Do what?
You do so. And that's all. We just like to acknowledge the gods,
Of course.
rather than choose one specifically.
Of course. My apologies. I'm
No,
still
please.
a little new.
Come back anytime.
What was your name?
Delwyn.
Delwyn. Well, thank you for helping me.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Orba leaves.
And you open the door, and you let it kind of close behind you, and you see the sort of two statues that you saw as you were entering. And they're sort of before you. No one no longer cleaning them; they were before when you entered. Where are you headed?
Is it? I'm assuming it's probably a little past 3 now, right?
Yep.
I start heading to the cemetery.
With urgency, how are you traveling?
I'm keeping my disguise up, and
Okay.
I'm strolling. I think I'm taking my time.
Okay.
I don't want to look panicked.
So you kind of leisurely move through, and you see another person kind of walk by and enter into the church.
And can I pass through, since I'm going straight like south to north basically, can I pass through the main square area and see if I can figure out where that alley is?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I want to pass that entrance and like see if I can just...
Yeah. I mean, you get to the main square, and it's quite busy at this hour. You see a number of people passing in and out. It seems like the bauble shop is a hot spot at the particular moment. There's a lot of people sort of waiting around it or nearby it.
It's a Wesley shop, right?
Yes.
Had I seen that before? Like...
It was not that busy when you went in the first time.
Right, but even yesterday when we were around Trinketry and stuff, there wasn't crowds like that?
It can be. It wasn't that crowded. It's a little more crowded than usual.
Okay.
And you move as you kind of pass through, and you kind of move. Are you moving? How close do you want to get? He gave you fairly specific instructions as to where this alley was.
Yeah.
How close do you want to get? Where do you want to go?
Can I want to head there where there's still like foot traffic of people and I'm not just wandering through an empty alley.
I mean, you can get up pretty close to it and still have people passing by.
Okay, so if I like peek down the alley, because it's the dirt road going into an alley, what do I see? Can I see?
Make a perception
very
check.
far
It
down?
does look like it kind of doglegs off to the left, so even if you kind of look all the way down, your sight lines are limited.
Okay. God. 9.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get up to the edge of it, and you peek as far down as you can. You don't notice anything particularly nefarious, nothing that catches your eye. It does seem like there's one person out there who's hanging laundry, like in the back of their house, kind of.
If I take out the little map I found at the Natural Studies Institute and take it out, do I see similarities in the building and the structure?
As to where this path is leading?
Yeah, I guess if I'm thinking that it's here,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps, am I seeing correlations?
It does not look like that.
What about this road?
No part of the map looks like this.
Shut down.
All right. I'm gonna keep walking north.
Keep heading north.
Yep, taking my time.
And Orba kind of leisurely strolls through, watching the world kind of pass her by on both sides.
I want to keep an eye out for Graven too, if I see him.
Sure, you can keep a watchful eye out as you're moving slowly through the square. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh God.
Jesus
I'm going to come back. I think, was that the first time that...
Not every.
No, I was going to say, I think real time was actually slower than in-game time.
Yeah.
Or no, other way.
Opposite.
Yeah, opposite.
Yeah.
That was like a 30-minute segment,
Yes.
all
Yeah.
from
Like
different
30 minutes.
people.
Yeah.
God, can I just win?
So many.
I don't know what I'm up to. I
doing?
don't know what I'm doing.
Graven, you'll join us soon.
Yeah.
Really bad.
And you just chilled at the cemetery.
Terrible rolls.
There were
Yeah.
some
We are gonna
janky
come back.
rolls.
Think about what we've done.
No, you think about what you've done. You think about what you've done.
Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to take a quick break.
We'll see you
That one's
soon.
fired.
And we'll pick back up and see what happens.
All right.
See you when I-
See you soon.
Christ. Oh, come
Welcome back.
Oh God.
Oh goodness.
Back from a little break. Ready to dive back in. How's everybody feeling?
Very anxious.
Okay.
Terrified.
It's
Do
fine.
you really want to?
Everything's fine.
We have a cup of candy. We're good.
Candy acquired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you lick that coffee?
I didn't lick it. Did you see me lick it?
He blew on it.
I thought it
in
was-
the hole.
I thought it was in the way.
Guys. Let's see if you licked it.
Anyway.
Is there anything else in that coffee? Is there like nitrogen extract in it?
Yes.
No, it's just lemonade.
It's just lemonade?
It's lemonade.
Hot lemonade.
Hot juice.
He got it for free on the side of the road.
All right. We're going to dive back in.
Okay.
We go back to the Lakeside Inn. Where Graven has just exited the doors. He gets out into the thoroughfare, looking, feeling heavy, and his breathing is labored. And it seems like all his muscles are at their last point of exhaustion. And you sort of move through the streets, slowly, sort of getting footing one at a time, and it seems like people are passing through and they don't really pay you much mind, and even though you're a big creature, they kind of bump into you as you pass, and you kind of get thrown left and right as you see people kind of moving by. And where are you headed?
To the cemetery.
And you continue to move. And after a short time, you get to a point where, having moved through the streets a number of times already, you know that you have to make a turn, sort of a gentle drift off to the right. And you bring your head up. And as you do so, the light kind of catches your eyes and makes it difficult to see. It's sort of coming down in a way that comes into your eyes, and you hold up a hand and it casts a shadow down on your face. And the light continues to grow. It gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and the outline of the buildings and the people kind of gets fuzzy and sort of silhouetted as the light kind of seems to be pouring into you. And it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until you can't see at all, even with your hand up, the light kind of pouring through your fingers. And you put your hand down, closing your eyes, and you open your eyes, and you're back at the Lakeside Inn. And you sit up in your bed.
Everything as it was the last time. Still armored, my bag.
Yep, you still have all your things.
Check my bag for the egg thing.
The egg thing's still it's still there. We'll give that a cooler name
item.
later, but egg thing for now.
Swirly black.
Yep, swirly egg.
Everything's there.
Everything's still there.
Still at 1 HP.
Still at 1 HP.
God.
Will you at least let me heal myself? I'm gonna try to start to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Sure. Nothing stops you. You do so.
1d8 plus spell casting.
This guy.
Please, God.
6 plus spellcasting ability is my cleric level, or just level?
No, your wisdom modifier.
Wisdom
I think,
modifier, which is 2, so 8.
And you do so, you go to heal yourself, and you feel it, and then you feel another pulse, a surge of energy, and you're healed for double the amount as Kozni's energy pours through you.
Okay.
This is a horrible relationship.
So instead of gaining 8, I gained 16.
Yep.
My math. Got it.
1 plus.
Gonna try to calmly. Gonna go back over and knock on the girl's door again.
No response.
Back downstairs.
And you see Prescott there at the desk.
Prescott.
And he looks up at you. Sort of looks at you with a little bit of concern.
Might I ask what time it is?
And this time, he kind of leans over his desk and he looks at you, cocks his head a little bit.
You think these nothings are your friends, Graven?
And Kuzni's voice comes pouring out of Prescott's mouth.
You don't need them. They're slowing you down.
I'm doing this because Jillian asked me to.
We don't need her help, either.
I'm not ready yet.
You're wrong.
It will destroy me.
Let me show you. Let me back in, Graven.
No.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god!
Is he not ready to do?
13.
And you feel sort of and you can feel just as the energy went in during your cure wounds, it seems to move in reverse as if he's trying to pull the energy back out that he allowed in. And you sort of steel yourself and you stop the flow of energy. And it sort of... And Prescott puts his quill down and he closes the book.
Do you want to see what you can do with my help, Graven?
I know what I can do with your help.
No. You've forgotten. We were unstoppable once.
I told you I would do what you asked. I am doing it.
I ask that you let me show you this one thing.
Prescott kind of reaches a hand out towards your head. Do you allow him to touch you?
Yeah.
He reaches out, and his fingers kind of touch your scalp. And he does sort of a gentle massaging motion, and you feel it feels like the flow through your body kind of goes up and down in the energy, and you feel a kind of blurring haze in front of your eyes. And everything starts to get a little fuzzy, a little out of focus. And then you kind of snap to. And the Prescott figure's gone. It's you on the bottom floor of the Lakeside Inn. Make an initiative roll.
So many one-on-one battles here.
Oh my god.
Where did he go?
Matt, do I need the thing?
What thing?
The initiative tracker.
Yeah.
I got you. Is it one piece?
Yeah. Grab that. And then grab the marker and I have ours. I don't know if we'll be.
Oh, I see. I have
2 stories.
3 stories. So it's going to be a little difficult to see from the above view. We'll get the impression.
Y'all,
Really
we got 3 stories here.
Oh my.
Welcome to the Lakeside Inn.
Oh my god.
He's an architect too. I just can't even.
You stand here close to the entrance is on my side here, and Prescott's desk is kind of over here. So you were standing kind of at the foot of the stairs. Not even going to be able to see it on the thing. He's under there, I promise.
He hiding.
And you stand there, you sort of look around, and in one corner of the room, kind of back near the kitchen, there's sort of a blurring. And it materializes, you kind of squint, and you look towards it, and a figure that looks like Erland appears. Roll initiative for me.
What did you
I
get?
got 11.
Okay.
I got 12.
And you see Erland's shape start to materialize. And then you look to your left as you hear another sort of And materializing into shape, you see Beezaura.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is gonna be really hard to see from up there. I should have done a side view.
Can you take the top one off and just like
Not
set it next to it?
easily.
Yeah.
I might.
Old move, Cotton.
I know. I might.
Here we go. We're going on an adventure.
Seasick, don't get seasick.
Steady your eyes.
Can I give you my mug
It's like a scope.
to sit on that?
Yeah, that actually is a good idea.
Do you want the
I
mug
think
to
it's
like,
gonna
rest it on or
be.
something?
I think it's gonna be too high. Oh, maybe I can rest it on this water bottle.
Uh-uh.
All right, guys, we're
at this
dealing with
makeshift
experimental
set.
technology here.
Look at
Let's actually pull it back a little bit.
What you guys
Beezaura,
can't
what did
see
you
is
roll?
that it's a
I
beautiful,
didn't
beautiful-
roll yet.
Oh,
I've
you
been
didn't
too
command
distracted
me.
by
Be
this
fair on that.
master.
All right, there's the bottom floor. We'll go with that for now.
Cool.
It's hard to see everybody, but I can move it back a little bit more. Let's shot him.
Thank you. 7.
There we go.
Okay.
Get the idea.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Looks great.
I'll just have to be careful.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
And not drink
Beezaura,
water.
what, did you get
7.
any? Great.
I mean, I recognize this
Cool.
is not reality.
You have the impression that it is not reality, yes.
I have to look like my friends.
And you see them, and they sort of have a wave of recognition, sort of, but then immediately that recognition fades, and you sort of see this glazed over look in both of their eyes.
But I also have no reason to believe that I'm not actually in the inn.
It's hard to tell. And you see both of them. Erland draws his staff, and Beezaura draws her flail. What are you doing, Erland?
So he is 5, 10, 15, 20, so he's 20 feet away from me. I am going to.
This was gonna happen.
Erland's gonna sort of like draw the staff, like look up at Graven, and like run full 2 hands and jump in for an attack towards his face.
Oh my god.
Savage.
Can I warding flare?
Yes.
So it's gonna within 30 feet of me. I can see to impose a disadvantage on the attack.
Great. So there's sort of a flash of light. Impose disadvantage on the attack.
9 to hit, buddy.
Misses.
Graven holds up the shield, and he hears on the other side the staff kind of clang, clang and connect with the shield.
And then after, so it connects with the shield, and then like, Erland's gonna take the quarterstaff in one hand and come in, use a key point, and come in with a punch to the head. Make another attack.
Oh boy.
Using, what's that called again? Flurry of blows.
Can that be used? Oops, I bumped that. Can that be used even if you didn't hit the first attack?
Yeah, after you take an attack action,
Great.
you can spend 1 key point.
Great.
2 unarmed strikes
Two
is a
unarmed
bonus
strikes.
action.
And the warding flare was just against the attack, correct? That one attack.
An attacker that can't be blinded is immune.
But it's just against that one attack as opposed to like
Yeah.
for a turn. Great.
Yeah.
So it was just that one. So go ahead and make 2 straight up unarmed
So
attacks.
that's 19 to hit.
Can I do that again?
Yeah.
To impose disadvantage on it again?
Sure.
Make him roll again.
Okay,
Roll that one again. Another flash of light.
11 to hit.
Misses.
So the flash, and Erland kind of reaches through the light and swings
And
over
then
the top.
comes in with an uppercut for the second
Make
one.
another attack.
Wow.
That's 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Roll for damage.
And I just
man.
have the HP that I had after I healed myself.
Yes.
So that does 5 bludgeoning damage. And also what? Okay, 2 questions for you.
It's like,
Yep.
oh, my fuck.
If you fall, can you remind me what prone does again? You can't attack when you're prone, can you?
You can. I believe you have disadvantage. Is that what it is? I'm not. I totally am wiggling the thing. I'm gonna put it in my lap in a second. Okay.
It's okay. It's like a battle.
You can only crawl as movement, which takes up more movement, or until you stand up. They have disadvantage on attack rolls, and an attack roll has advantage if you're attacking them with a melee attack.
Okay, great. And if he were to be pushed 15 feet back and get sent into a wall, does that do additional damage?
No.
Okay, great. Then, if he fails a dexterity saving throw, DC 13.
Dexterity saving throw.
8.
13, so he fails.
You have no dexterity modifier.
On none of my
Dexterity
saving throws.
Okay, great.
So he falls prone.
Great.
Okay.
Oh, I can't put that there.
I can put it on mine, my side. I can have
No, it's okay. I'm actually gonna. It's okay. We're gonna go crazy here.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh damn! The DM just took his notes off the table.
Yeah. No. This is a no notes battle.
So he falls prone.
Yeah.
And how much? I'm sorry. How much movement did I use to get to him? Was it
5, 10, 15, 20.
20? Great. Erland's going to 5, 10, 15, 20. So Erland's gonna take his last 20 feet of movement then and move towards Beezaura. So I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15,
Oh gosh, man.
20.
after
I'm gonna
me?
hop up on. Can I hop up on that table?
Yep, you can.
Great. Hopping up on that table.
Great.
So
So
Was Warding Flare a reaction? Is that what it's used as? Is its cast time a reaction?
No.
You just read the text of it?
You can interpose divine light between yourself and an attacking enemy. When you're attacked by a creature within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction.
Your reaction. So you can't take an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Which you normally,
Was
use
I
your
allowed to use both?
No, but we're
Reaction.
gonna roll with it because I didn't say anything.
Sorry.
damn it.
Kuzni, you flowed with Kuzni's
Another one.
power.
Damn it.
Guess so.
and
All right. That's it.
Beezaura, what are you doing? Oh no,
No,
Graven.
not me.
I have to use half of my movement to
To
get
stand up, yep.
So, I'm gonna get up.
Sure.
Yes. Let's see if you were telling the truth, and I'm gonna put my hands together and close my eyes and channel my divinity and pull any of the light from around me and just radiance of the dawn out.
Swirl of light. Go ahead and read that.
Use your channel divinity to harness sunlight. As an action, present your holy symbol, any magical darkness within 30 feet of you. Dispel each hostile creature within 30 feet of you. Oh shit.
That's both of them.
Oh, okay.
10, 15, 20.
Your friends, Graven.
Must make a Constitution
31.
saving throw.
Constitution saving throws.
For both of us?
Yep. And
That
with,
was directed specifically.
and you feel the energy of Kuzni flow through you as the divinity channels. Make it with disadvantage, both of you.
It's pretty bad, but roll it again. See if you can get even worse.
wow. Fuck
Yep.
you.
Yep.
So you just take the lowest one.
Yep.
6.
13.
So my spell save DC is 14.
So they both fail.
Both fail. Oh, wait. Say that again?
I have 13.
Oh, it's 12. I'm
So
gonna
he saves.
no.
He saves. She fails.
Okay. So, creature takes radiant damage 2d10 plus your cleric level on a failed and half as much on a successful.
Is that even?
8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus cleric level 3 is 17.
Beezaura takes 17 radiant damage,
And you take
and Erland takes
7.
8.
Is it rounded down?
Yeah.
So 8.
8. Okay.
Great.
Can you turn it just slightly more toward Beezaura, the map?
Oh.
Or sorry, the camera.
Yes.
Just to
See
your
me.
counterclockwise.
Okay.
Cool. You can't, they're in the shadow, but you know.
It's gonna be tricky, guys.
I know. I'm just trying to help.
It's having trouble focusing on it too.
You know, it's dark. It's a poorly lit tavern.
And
We'll do some crane shots in a second.
Yeah.
Just like real gorilla style in there.
I'm telling you, it's like Jason Bourne.
sorry.
That's okay.
That was my action. I've used half my movement. Yeah, I'm just gonna step like
This is
towards them 5 feet, just a few feet towards them.
I think you have. What's your total movement?
30.
So you have 15 left. You can move 3 squares. Do you want to do that? Move all the way.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just there is fine.
Okay.
Did you say like our appearances are a little warped in it? Like
You look the same. Your eyes are kind of glazed over. It's like to him, you look sort of.
Creepy.
Yeah, like dead inside.
Okay.
Oh, I need to stop touching the table.
That's my turn.
All right, Beezaura.
Okay, I'm going up for it.
So, can I yell something at her before she?
No.
No.
You may not speak.
Oh, interesting.
All right. You coming up to him?
Yeah, I'm just gonna whack at him.
All right. Make an attack roll.
Love ya.
Oh boy. Get him.
18.
Hits.
Roll for damage.
I spit my tongue out, so it's
D8. I picked the right one.
You're a nerd.
6.
6. What kind of damage?
Bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning damage. You take 6 bludgeoning damage.
And then I'm just gonna action. I can never say it. Action surge.
Right.
And go in for another one.
She whirls around.
Ah!
It hits.
22.
Roll for damage.
7 bludgeoning.
So I'm gonna have to use a Stone's Endurance on that one.
Okay.
When you take damage, you'll roll a reaction to roll a d12 at your Constitution modifier. This is the 12. Constitution modifier.
And it reduces it by that much?
Yeah, Constitution modifier is 2. 12 plus 2 is 14, so that didn't do anything.
Great, so you swing it back around, and he sort of, the stone rolling up his shoulders, and it's kind of clips off, and you see some kind of stone shards clip off the side.
I'm okay.
All right.
Alright, that's the end of the round.
That's the end of the round. So you see the people moving, and you're moving, and you see the sort of dead eyes of Erland and Beezaura. And you hear a voice. It sounds like it's coming from up above, maybe on the 3rd floor. Graven, can you hear me? Get up here, Graven. And then you hear another voice. You see what we can be. And right on the last in the round,
Yeah.
write Kuuzni on one of those.
Oh no.
He's just dead last?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
I don't know what this man will do to me.
We're fighting a god, Maisie.
What? Yeah.
This feels like a bad idea.
Okay. Dead last. Kuuzni.
Kuuzni.
Fuck. I got it.
And the room lights up in this blinding light, and you feel this sort of rush of wind and flame as a sort of a torrent of flame swirls around you and attempts to knock people off their feet. Dexterity saving throws with disadvantage for both of you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, roll it again.
Hey, relax.
That's more like it.
7.
7.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Great. What is your spell save DC? It wouldn't
12.
use that. 12. Great. So yes, you both fail. So this light kind of and blasts you back, and the two of you go flying into the corner and hit up against the wall. And Graven, roll 3d6 for me.
Okay.
You both take 5 radiant damage.
Erland sort of hits the wall and just collapses down on it and sort of looks up at Graven as his eyes sort of like go dim and unconscious.
And his eyes sort of flicker out, and after that, he sort of disintegrates out of your vision. And you hear another noise coming from upstairs. This time, the drawing of a bow from up on the 2nd level.
What the fuck?
As you look up and see Safira looking over the edge, and you can see down onto the lower floor from this floor. Roll in for initiative.
17? Wait, no, I haven't. Hang on.
You have
I
much
have,
more.
I know. 20.
And I'm still down there
You're
just
still
like...
down there? Yep. You've just been like blasted against the wall. You kind of look up and the sort of you see those spots in your eyes, yeah, as it's sort of flashing in front of you.
Okay, and I want to take a second to cast Hunter's Mark.
Sure. Yep.
Oh man. And then I'm gonna.
Does he have to make any kind of anything? He just gets marked.
No, you choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry until the spell ends. You deal an extra
Oh
1d6.
no!
It's rolling away. I'm gonna put it in.
Graven's
on
too wide.
top of it. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, and then having marked him, I'm gonna
Make an attack roll.
Lord.
4.
No, that is not it.
13
So you look, 13. So you
Oh, 13. Gee, I thought you said 4.
No,
But
said
13
Lord.
also does not hit.
She said Lord.
13 does not hit.
Okay, great. So you reach down and the sort of room is still bright. You kind of fire off and it sticks into the ground, sort of next to Graven's foot, missed by like an inch.
Spicy.
I'm not gonna move.
All right,
That's it.
Graven.
That voice I heard was on the 3rd floor.
It sounded like it was coming from up above. Yeah, high up above.
How much movement would it take me to get up there?
So there's a staircase here, which brings you up to about where Safira is, and then you need to go around to the other side, and that brings you up to the 3rd floor. So you have to go around that U, and then up to the 3rd floor.
It's a lot.
Sorry.
That's gonna take a while.
That's a lot of movement.
I'm gonna turn towards Beezaura and just eye her and just say, "Stay." And I'm gonna cast Hold Person on her. Nice. Choose a humanoid. Targets must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw.
Right. And again, you feel Kuzni as you say "stay." You say "stay," and then as an echoing kind of behind, "Stay," right behind you. Make it with disadvantage as well.
Wisdom saving.
Wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Disney's making a good case.
Say that.
When we recklessly attack.
Do you have any modifier?
-1.
She fails.
Okay. So go ahead and say it.
So
The first one's always so good.
She fails.
paralyzed for the duration, which is up to 1 minute.
Whoa!
It does say
my
concentration.
God.
At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another Wisdom saving throw. On a success, the spell ends.
Oh.
So you're concentrating?
So I'm concentrating on her being
I
held.
also have a concentrating, but you're already marked, so I'm going to put this off to the side.
Okay.
So when it's my turn, I just have to keep rolling.
At the end of your turn, you can make a roll to attempt to become unparalyzed.
Got it.
So I'm gonna come as
You see like the kind of wisps of tendrils of light reach out and they kind of wrap around Beezaura and they hold her tight.
and I'm gonna turn around and go straight up the stairs. How
Okay.
far will 30 get me?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and that will bring you upstairs. And 30.
Would be like right next to
Right
her,
next
so
to her, yeah.
she would be not be able to shoot arrows at me very well.
Yeah.
So, and on my way up the stairs, I'm gonna bonus action. Oh, nope, never mind. I don't have that. Nope. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run right up into Safira and just stand right next to her and look right at her.
And you can hear the kind of clunk, clunk, like coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
Just started blankly.
Beezaura. So there's nothing you can do except attempt to escape the paralysis.
So, wisdom saving throw.
Yep,
right?
wisdom saving throw.
Still at disadvantage?
Yes, still with this
Sweet. Alright, so.
This is not going well.
It's a natural 20.
Natural 20.
But does she still have to roll again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
No, natural 20.
Sad.
Yes! Yes! Why am I so excited about beating you guys? I'm sorry, she fails.
Really
So
bad.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
So sad.
So Beezaura starts to sort of shake and then
Oh no.
and can't break the hold around her.
All right, so that's a turn.
Great.
Kuzni.
Kuzni.
Oh my god.
And the room's fill up with light again.
Depressing.
And again, a swirl of flame, but this time it goes inward instead of outward. And it kind of wraps itself around Graven's skin, and his skin starts to light up and glow with this sort of power, and you feel infused. Roll 1d12
Oh my god.
7.
and add your wisdom modifier.
2.
9.
Yeah.
So you heal 9 hit points. As you feel
Oh my
Kuzi's
god.
energy. And that's it. We're gonna go back to the top, and this time you hear another sound. First, the voice from before. Raven, hurry! And then another sound. Some squeaking of boots on the floor
Oh
above.
my god.
At the top of the stairs on the 3rd floor, Orba. You can't see down onto the second floor without going down the stairs. There isn't like an overhang the way there is on the second floor.
Okay.
So you would actually have to go, or you can stay there, or you can...
I thought the stairs were on this side to go up to the second
I swapped it for this thing. Oh, yeah. So going down here would bring you out here.
Oh.
It sort of goes
Weird
down.
stairs. Okay.
Well, it goes down to the left as you
Am
sort
I
of descend
rolling?
the stairs.
I see.
Yes, roll initiative.
What is that? 18?
19.
Great, so you're after Safira.
Where did I go? Where am I? No, where's my thing? No, there was a me. I got it. 19.
Found her.
Okay. Cool.
Safira's up.
Okay, so seeing that he's right next to me, I'm gonna take my weapon as almost like a found thing and try to get it in his eye.
As like an improvised weapon.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
improvised weapon.
Great, make an
That's
attack roll.
intense.
Chill.
That's
So it's just
intense.
so this does not have your archery bonus and stuff, so
Yeah,
it's just your,
unarmed strike,
it's your strength modifier.
strength modifier.
Plus proficiency. So what's your strength modifier?
Okay. I'm not sure. Hang on.
Just flat strength.
The big
Yeah.
number.
Big number on the left. Yep.
Oh, okay. 11.
And then plus another 2 for your proficiency, so 13.
Okay.
Great. 13 yeah.
Misses.
Great, misses. So you go in for a hit, and he sort of ducks out of the way as you go for the bow strike. Anything else?
Yes. To try to get, like, sight of him, I'm gonna run, like, across the room.
Okay.
So that I can, because the stairs are, wait, where
Stairs
are the
are
stairs?
over here. They're not
So I want
marked
to
on-
run
yeah.
to get by the stairs so that I could go upstairs if I wanted.
Sure. Yeah. So you run. So you leave. Make an attack of opportunity, Graven.
14.
Ooh, 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Roll for damage.
D6. 5 bludgeoning.
5. So the mace kind of strikes and boom, hits Safira on the side. In addition to that, the mace glows white hot and it singes the side. Roll another d6.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Since when?
5.
You take 5 fire damage as well.
Oh my god.
As it sort of, and you smell that kind of burnt flesh smell as it sort of digs into the side. How much movement are you
it's
using?
too late for me to cast Absorb Elements, isn't it?
No, you can do that.
Okay, I'm
Yep.
going to cast Absorb Elements.
Yes,
to
definitely.
Fire damage.
Just read that out.
Yes. It's the spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effects on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the triggering type and the spell ends.
Great. So you go and you feel the incoming fire energy. You absorb it. So you take half of the fire damage. What was the fire
I think
damage?
it was 5.
So you only take 2 fire damage instead of 5 because it rounds down. And in addition, if you make a melee attack, your next melee attack, you do
Has an
fire
additional
damage as
one,
well.
well, 2 additional 1d6 too, because I also have Hunter's Mark.
Yes. Yeah. Great. Who's up?
I
Orba's
am. Orba's gonna actually wait at the top of the stairs for somebody to come up.
Okay.
And she's gonna say, Graven, what's going on down there?
You can't speak.
Damn it. I take it back.
I didn't hear that.
She thinks it.
I'm just gonna have ready thunder wave for whoever comes up the stairs first.
You're
It's just
ready
gonna
in
be prepped.
action?
Yeah.
Great.
And that's me.
Okay.
Graven.
Hearing nothing at all.
Cease. I'm gonna cast Hold Person on her as well.
Okay.
Oh, would I lose concentration on the
yes,
person?
you can't concentrate on it.
But I'm
Yeah,
so
do it.
strong
But you could,
right
and it
now.
would release her.
Go
That would
ahead.
release
But I'm
Beezaura.
so strong.
You can, it just would release her.
Release the animal.
Nope, I'm just gonna try to fuck her up instead. I'm gonna walk up behind her and I gotta hit you with the inflict wounds.
Wow.
So melee spell attack. He's gonna seeing her. You kind of were running away from me, right?
Yeah.
Kind of follow along and just aim at the small of your back with a
Oh.
with a lit
Oh,
up mace.
Personal, you guys.
Long season.
Make it with advantage.
17 to hit.
17 hits.
Oh boy.
Roll for damage.
3d10.
Oh, you were really lost.
That's a lot of damage gonna happen.
10,
Oh boy.
1, 6, 17.
Take 17. What kind of damage is it?
Necrotic.
Necrotic damage.
Woo!
Sick.
As you
feel it dig into the small of your back, and it kind of runs up your back as if this sort of tendrils were wrapping themselves up around it. It sort of siphons the life out of you.
And
Also make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, natural 20.
Great, you maintain concentration on Hunter's Mark.
Oh, sweet.
I'm gonna just. I've moved like 5.
You move 5 feet. yep.
Okay. I'm gonna just keep moving until I'm
10.
just on the other side of her.
15,
That way she
20.
won't get
Yep, she is
any
not
kind of-
gaining. Yep.
any kind of stuff.
You've used 20 feet of
I'm
movement.
just gonna circle her like.
Yep.
Holy
Okay.
shit.
That's it.
Okay. Beezaura sort of.
Get it, girl.
I have to make 2, right?
Yep.
Is it? I can't remember if you have a modifier. Oh, it's negative. So
7.
yeah, fail.
Great. Again, sort of the feel Kuzni's energy binding you.
Alright, everyone, Kuzni.
Kuzni. Okay. Once again, the fire and the light swirls around you. And this time, it's going to make an attack on anyone within 30 feet, which is
Which is everyone?
30, which is no, because I'm counting the Beezaura is not, so the other 2 are within 30 feet.
Oh, goodbye.
It's gonna make a spell attack. So use your spell attack modifier
Good to see you.
No,
So
nice.
with advantage. Everything's with advantage.
It's the same number.
8. Great. So 8 to hit for both of you. Great.
Wow.
So the flames kind of erupt and they kind of fire off indiscriminately, and they scorch a wall and the floor, and it kind of a puff of fire, but it sort of misses its marks. Yep. Safira calls them an idiot,
Yeah.
and you take 40 fire damage for calling them an idiot.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that can be heard the whole time.
Top?
We go back to the top.
Safira.
I'm like barely standing, but with what little energy she has, she's gonna take her sickle and like.
You can't do that, so you still have your bow.
I still. Oh right. I
To
have to
put
take
it
an
away and
action.
take something out, you
Okay.
wouldn't be able to attack after that.
So the only thing I can do, because he's like close to me, is attack him with the bow.
With the
right?
bow, or you could step away and use a ranged attack. But he would get an attack of opportunity if you stepped away. Those are
I'm gonna step away.
Make an attack of opportunity.
What's missing is later.
Natural 20.
No!
Roll for damage.
That's super hits.
That's super good.
That's a 5, so
Alright,
10 plus
so
2
yeah.
is 12.
You take 12 bludgeoning damage, and you sort of
I
hit
don't
her on the way
actually,
by.
I die halfway through that.
Wow.
There's
And
no
before
way
her
I
body
take
kind of hits the wall, it sort of disintegrates into dust. Orba, you're up.
Yup. I think I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna still hold Thunder Wave
Okay.
and wait.
Okay.
Graven, you're up.
I mean, I don't know what she's doing
do
up
not know
there.
that, no. I will tell if you when you get to the foot of the stairs, you'll be able to see her. I don't think you know the range on Thunderwave, so you can't you don't know she's casting it. But... and Hunter's Mark definitely goes away.
Well, I mean, not knowing she's there, but still thinking about the voice that I heard, I'm gonna literally take slow steps and 5, 10.
What is the range on Thunderwave?
It's melee. It's a self from 15-foot cube, so 15 feet out
15
from me.
feet. You were late, so you get to the foot of the stairs and you hear, and the ground starts to shake and rumble.
He's within 15 feet of me?
Yeah, because this is the same as this. That's the staircase going down.
Oh!
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's 15 feet.
Alright, so you, sir, have
What are you
to-
doing?
And you see Orba and her sort of dead eyes at the top, and she kind of.
Okay, so you have to make a Constitution saving throw.
20.
That saves. But let's see.
I guess I
On
could
a
do it with
successful save, the
advantage,
creature
but-
takes half as much damage and isn't pushed, so you still take half of 2d8.
Okay.
Where are you? Come
So
on.
still concentrating.
3. You take 3 damage. 3. What kind of damage? Thunder
Yes,
damage,
fine.
obviously, for Thunder Wave.
Make a Constitution saving throw for your concentration. Constitution for your concentration.
Yeah.
Constitution saving.
Yep.
With advantage?
No.
15, 16, 17.
That does succeed. So you
Okay.
maintain concentration on the paralysis downstairs on the hold person.
Okay. But I've only gone half my movement still, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna just.
Stay.
I know this isn't you, and slowly walk up towards Orba.
You can get up to her.
I can get up to her.
Yep.
And I'll wind up the inflict wounds again.
You keeping track of your spell slots
I
here?
am.
Yeah.
I've done hold person, inflict wounds, and I did the original heal on
Oh, actually, what I should do? I should come back to the.
Zara's
We're gonna zoom in.
I'm just.
Kill cam? Shit. Is that a kill cam?
The blood's gonna come down like in 007.
This
do I see anything up
drone
here
shot
other than
cost
Orba?
$120,000.
What did you say?
Do I see anything up here other than Orba?
So this is up at the floor now, where your rooms are,
Yeah.
and the doors to the rooms are both closed. Yours and the girls' room.
So I don't see anybody else.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, all I've done is hold person, inflict wounds, and cure wounds. So 3. Yeah, I flipped those. Okay. So, yeah.
Inflict wounds.
Inflict wounds.
Melee attack with advantage.
17 to hit.
That hits. Wow, I need to familiarize myself with Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah.
When do I get to cast? It's a reaction, so I get to cast this before he rolls the damage, or?
Yeah, it's happening like simultaneously.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Hellish Rebuke.
You're saying if you get boned, if you still get to use it?
Yeah, I'm saying if he does all of the damage.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I feel like we looked this up last time.
I think we did.
I think it's simultaneous.
Unfortunately, as awesome as this sounds, it doesn't work. It's in response to being damaged, not in response to the attack.
Oh, but that's why shield is different. Got
Yes,
it.
because
Yeah,
it's in response to the attack. Yes.
Okay.
So 3d10 again.
Oh. Come on, just let me get off one thing.
I've been paralyzed for the past 20 years.
We could get you in one.
My health is much lower.
I'm just sitting
18
downstairs.
necrotic damage.
Orba's toes.
Hold it up and disintegrates.
Orba makes a really
Obliterates
sad face as she falls to the ground.
Oh, and this in close quarters kill too.
Oh yeah.
That's not a. Oh, it's a melee attack spell, right?
That was a melee attack.
So I get. Is she a non-undead creature?
She is not a living creature, so you do not gain the
Yeah,
benefit.
suck it.
Just checking. Move towards the doors.
I think you have.
Wait, just in this dream state or Orba in general?
What's your movement?
30.
So I think you only have 5 left.
Okay.
So these are walls here. So your rooms. This is the girls' room, and this is your guys' room. That's great.
Sorry, I wasn't.
This is Orba, Safira, and Beezaura's room.
Yeah.
And this is Erland and Graven's
Okay.
room. And you have to go. You have to go down this hallway.
Yeah.
And in there.
I'm just backed up against the wall. Like,
All right, Beezaura, you're up. Let it rip.
I've been doing really well, so. Okay.
Fail.
It's always that second roll.
She actually failed on the first one, but I thought I'd let her get it. Just get it all in.
That's real bad. I'm just gonna.
And you hear no sounds behind
gonna
you.
freeze to death down there, just hanging out.
Kuzni.
And as Kuzni, you hear the voice again.
You see, Graven,
Dude, me.
what we are.
And pouring through that voice in the back, Graven. Your turn.
Where's that coming
Sounds
from?
like it's
Just
coming from your room.
my room.
Yep.
Going towards the room. I guess dash to use 60.
You open the door, push it open, and Lady Sangerlaw is sitting there. A figure of Lady Sangerlaw. And she looks at you, and she smiles, and then she reaches her hands up to her head, and she kind of, and it looks like her head kind of cracks apart into 2 pieces. And her hands hold them, and you see the jagged edges of her head in both sides. You can see one eye on one side and one eye on the other side. Make a perception check.
I have a feeling that might not work. 20.
20. You take a look, and the the jagged edges look very similar to the edges of the egg.
Could have guessed that one.
And where there was a face on these two sides, they start to turn black. And they turn into a sort of a swirling mist. And the sort of solid parts of the bone turn translucent. It looks like the translucent with the black dust inside the item that you received.
Mm-hmm.
And
she starts to put them together?
No, she doesn't.
Oh.
She holds them out to you.
She doesn't have a mouth anymore. This is just
Nope.
What is this?
What are you doing, Graven? Did I not just show you what we're capable of?
You took everything from me. I'm gonna reach out and slam them together.
And you clasp them together. And it's quiet. And everything disappears behind you. And once again, you're back at the lakeside inn in your room with the pieces in your hand.
And they're together?
And the pieces are together. And they start to, you see the jagged edge where they had separated. And it looks like the edge disappears, almost as if they slid together perfectly.
Yeah.
And the black swirling mist inside, they start to combine. The two black mists in each piece starts to combine and flow.
Mm-hmm.
And you look around, and it seems to be about the same time as maybe 4 o'clock when Prescott told you before. It doesn't seem like, it's not dark outside.
Yeah.
And you start to hear a voice in your head. You don't think that it's coming out like audibly from the thing. It seems to be in your head as you're holding it. And it speaks to you.
I go back to that day over and over in my mind. Kuuzni binding us, and Graven ascending in a pillar of light. If I could go back, would I do it again? Would I once more ignore my mother's pleas to curb my interest in magics, thus thwarting the temptation to use it at that most critical moment? Would I strip myself of those divine shackles for just a second, only to be hurled to the ground with such force that my spine would crumple like a trodden blade of grass? Would I trade the ability to walk for a 1 in a million chance of snatching Graven from the clutches of a rancorous god? I go back to that day over and over in my mind. And every time I answer the questions the same way. Yes. Yes, of course I would. I would because Graven is one of ours. I would because I saw the faces of my brothers and sisters screaming out in ferocious anger and know that if any one of them had a 1 in a million chance like I did, they would have taken it. And I would because fuck you, Kuuzni. When you struck me down, you thought you taught me humility. You taught me something, yes, but it was not that. You taught me that you are afraid of me. This is why you sever the connection. You fear impurity of faith, but you do not know how to earn your fealty. You are a coward. And every day when I hoist myself out of my bed, I am reminded of that. A deity to the cleric is the raging river to the watermill. The river flows strong and the wheel turns involuntarily, transforming the tempestuous power of the gods into a point of precision on the material plane. Now you cannot tear the river, but you can crack a wheel. And I have cracked your wheel. If you want to fix it, you'll have to come down here and do it with your own hands. And I'll be waiting for you.
And the pieces come apart again in your hands, even without you doing so. And you see the swirling mist between the pieces.
Wrap them up in the cloth. Put them back in my bag. How do I feel? I feel like I've just had a battle.
You are at 1 hit point.
I'm back at 1.
Seems to be returned to a state of reality.
My spell slots?
They were at what they were. If they were full, then you have all.
They were full.
Yes.
It
does not feel like you've expended your energy in the material plane, the material world.
Yeah, I'm gonna cure wounds on myself.
Sure. You do so
quietly.
Take a moment to breathe. Cast the spell on yourself.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
It's the double pyramid.
4.
Yeah.
It's a double pyramid.
It's just the one with the pyramid.
4 plus wisdom is 2. 4, 6. Okay. Again, the lights, it looks like it's that same time when I woke up that first time.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go downstairs and find Preston. Prescott every time. Prescott.
Oh, yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Forgive me. Did I leave a message for my friends here yet?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. If any of my companions come here, tell them that I looked for them at the cemetery.
All right. Sure.
And I'm gonna head there.
And we go back to Orba as she moves through the streets, heading up to the cemetery. And as you're moving up to the northern end of town, pass by Gwendolyn's Drinkery, you catch sight of, moving through the streets, Erland, who seems to be moving quickly in the opposite direction, sort of perpendicular, as you sort of moving through. And you catch spot of him. You obviously look different, so he doesn't catch sight of you.
Yeah. Which way is he going?
He's headed towards the cemetery.
Towards the cemetery?
I think that's what you said.
No, I
sorry.
just ran out of the
Oh, okay.
house.
So, I mean, this was... You still... no matter what, you're running
I'm running
this direction.
straight.
Yes. So, where are you headed, just so we know?
I wanted to know if I could see. I assume because they're dragging an unconscious guy that they're not moving that fast. Can I see them?
Make a perception check. Some time has passed. You sat in that room and waited.
Yeah.
Yep.
19.
19. You take a look around, and you don't see any of the figures that were in that room. You do see, it seems like a little bit of hubbub, people talking to each other, like they just saw something. People are like... Seems like people are talking about something that they saw.
A specific group of people, or like kind of a bunch of
maybe
people?
a bunch of people, like in a row, like some people here, it seems like.
I was sprinting, so I'm gonna like catch my breath for a second and like pop the hood back, and walk up to just a group of people discussing.
You see like two people talking to each other.
Excuse me.
Yes.
What's all the commotion about?
Oh, there was someone who was in a bad way that they took south.
Who was taking them?
I'm not sure. Not someone that I know.
All right, which way did they go?
It looked like they were headed toward the town square. So
Oh goodness. Thank you. And I'm gonna head towards the town
Right,
square.
you start to move, and this is when Orba catches sight of Erland, as you saw him sort of just talking to some people, and now he's moving south.
We're just gonna look at the cemetery, look at Erland. Look at the cemetery, look at Erland. Roll our eyes and follow Erland. the keeper disguise.
Okay. Are you trying not to be?
Yep,
seen
I'm
that you're
trying not to be seen.
Give me a stealth check with advantage, seeing as he doesn't recognize
he doesn't
you.
know what I look like.
But he might notice someone following him.
you wanna.
Okay, well that's a nat 20.
You don't have to roll the second one.
I'm just
Could have been
doing
two
it.
net 20.
Could have been 2
Yeah, that
nat
would
20s.
quadruple.
Yeah. She would just turn invisible.
Infinite stealth.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
Sure. He's moving quickly, but you're, moving, trying to catch up. And there's enough commotion that people don't find this odd. Where are you headed?
I want to keep heading. So, yeah, I want to. If there's sort of a train of people who kind of look, I'm going to kind of follow the train of concerned faces.
Yeah, so you do kind of follow that train, and you are able to do so for a time. But then it starts to get mixed, and you start to see smoke billowing from a building to the south.
Okay.
And now it's hard to tell. You see some people chatting, but you also see people sort of gawking at the scene in front of them. It seems like the fire is not lit. It's like a billowing sort of smoldering smoke. It doesn't seem like it's the raging fire. It seems like it's been put out.
Okay, roughly where is that?
So it's just north of the Natural Studies Institute.
So like near the scale house-ish?
Let me just take a look at the map. It's further south of the scale house.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, you're in the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just north of the Natural Studies.
Okay. Is that I can't remember, is that side of the Natural Studies Institute where Orba and I entered through?
Yes.
Great.
The main entrance is up from the south.
Okay. So I would like to sort of seeing the fire, not let it distract me and keep moving towards the Natural Studies Institute, the rear entrance.
Sure.
And I want to know if I see that.
Right, you sort of move quickly, and now you're sort of starting to weave in and out of people as this sort of area has become very congested with a number of people who've stopped to either help or watch or look. And you start to move through, and you get kind of close to the back entrance where you see the gates that you guys hopped over. Make a perception check for me. 11. So you kind of push, you're not pushing your way through, but you get sort of to the front of this congested area, and you peek, and it looks like
the outside gate closed?
The inside gate that you and Orba went through in the back.
The
just
stairs.
Closed as you got there.
Okay. Okay. Are there guards?
You're watching this happen. You see Erland kind of run up and then stop and look around. There's much less of it. Looks like maybe only 2. It seems like maybe some of the guards had moved over to the area of the fire to assist with that.
Are the 2 guards still doing things, or are they sort of standing stationary?
They're sort of standing stationary, kind of near the corners, so they can see both down to their right and down to their left. You know what I mean?
So so I couldn't just go through that front gate without them seeing me.
Through the back gate?
Through the back gate.
That would be difficult. You'd have to time it very perfectly. That would be very difficult.
Okay.
Yes. There definitely are people stationed within eyesight of that.
Okay. Are there any townspeople close by who are still sort of gawking around?
There's quite a few people around, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Did an injured man come through here with a group of people?
Oh, I'm not sure. I've been there's been a fire here it was going to spread, and so they were able to quell it. So
what kind of whose house is on fire? What happened?
We're not sure. It looked like it might have been Micah's house. Micah Denholm.
Okay. Oh.
And they pulled a man out of the fire.
Oh my goodness. Is everyone all right?
I'm not sure. The man did not look well when he was pulled out.
Thank you. And I'm going to sort of... Okay, and go...
Yeah.
I want to...
Could Orba hear that conversation?
You rolled a nat 20 on that other one?
Yeah.
We'll say you were able to stay close enough to hear that, yeah.
Alright.
Okay, I want to...
There's enough people here to not draw suspicion because he has obviously no idea what you look like. So.
Yeah.
Okay, oh man. Okay, so the 2 guards are standing at the corners of the...
Yeah, so they can't, so from the 2 corners where they are, they can't see the front side, like where the front entrance is, but they can see along the sides and along the back where the back entrance is.
They can't see the front entrance.
They can't see the main front entrance, but you can't see if there's any other guards on the other side. But those 2 guards cannot see the front entrance.
Okay, I want to walk around to the front of the Natural Studies Institute.
Make your way around. When you get to the front, doesn't look like any guards are in there. No more than the 2 that were there posted.
I can't remember. Are there windows in the front of the Natural Studies Institute?
The front entrance is like a grated iron. So, no, but you can see through it if you walked up to it.
Okay. I'm gonna start to... I'm gonna go into the... I'm gonna walk up to the front of the Natural Studies Institute.
Great. What are you doing?
Orba's gonna, as soon as she sees him start entering the property, gonna walk up next to him. Very clearly in her own voice.
Sure.
Back at it, I see.
Someone...
Yeah.
Hello.
I think...
Been watching you.
I've been very quietly, sort of. Then I guess, sort of, hearing that, I'm gonna stop and sort of go...
You're like just at the gates, yeah.
Do you still have the key to the back gate?
Yeah?
Unless you got rid of it.
What are we doing?
I don't... I was just with Valklov. And he seems poisoned. And a group of 3 people just came and took him and his wife, and I believe they're in danger. I think that I couldn't see and they didn't identify themselves, but it might be the Lemonade Man. It's someone who knows that Marvin's imprisoned.
Okay.
And they just took them, and I don't really know what to do.
They're in this building.
They went in, it looked like the back entrance.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
I don't...
Track our friend.
Well, we can't just go in there if it's that would be certain death for us or Marvin if we just go in there. But they took someone.
Okay. Did you get a look at any of these people? Because you know, and she does a quick gesture to herself. Not looking like herself. Did you get a look at any of these people?
Erland gets a big smile and I go, I got to look at one.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Oh no.
And I'm going to describe Norm to her. And I'm going to say, 3 of them came in. There was one man who didn't identify himself. There was a woman named Abby. And they took Valklov.
Okay.
This creature seems to not make any noise. Seems to not speak, just sort of grunts. And I'm going to try and imitate the grunt that I heard Norm
Make a
do.
performance check as you're trying to describe this.
16?
16. I mean, you do a pretty good job sort of describing the manner in which he sort of holds himself.
Yeah.
Any sort of secondhand account of a disguise is not going to be perfect.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, even with a good description, it's...
He was wearing his cape up, though. When I
Okay.
first encountered him. So
What the? Sorry.
I cast sight.
I'm so sorry. I just
Go
realized
ahead.
what you were talking about.
Okay.
So that was the 3rd person.
Okay. And?
He's like 4 feet taller than you.
Well, you know, this is an illusion spell, but I could make myself look kind of like him. To like not look fucking suspicious standing outside of the halls, Orba's gonna like put her arm around Erland's, and like as if they're like just like looking and like kind of hanging out and like being cute.
And again, you're not in the courtyard area yet.
Right,
still at
but
the
we're
gates.
like in
Yeah.
the
Sure.
area. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just like hunched over.
Sure. There's a number of people in here.
Let's walk around back, actually.
Okay.
You guys do. Got 2 guards still seem to be stationed.
I don't... This puts Marvin's life just in as much risk as it did when I wanted to eavesdrop on the door.
Yeah, that's true. I was the one who told you not to do that.
But on the other hand, Valklov and his wife, they may just kill them.
Right. Okay. Okay, so we go help. No?
I won't... Is it... actually, we would know this. The doors, you could leave them unlocked, right, with the keys?
They didn't lock automatically. You would have had to, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you're up for. This would be sending you in alone. I can't go with you.
You can't?
The guards would see.
Well, what if you were my prisoner?
I don't know if I feel comfortable letting the Lemonade Man know what I look like. Potentially the Lemonade Man. Or at least someone working very close with him.
Right. Okay.
Close enough that they would know that Marvin Bishop is imprisoned.
Right. Oh, okay, got you. I got you. Okay.
And I just want to, again, just to explain it mechanically with a secondhand description of
Yeah,
them.
I know.
If someone saw you up close and knew what the original person looked like, there's a good chance they would notice that it wasn't the real thing.
Even if I had like hood up.
If they didn't get a good look at your face, sure, yeah. If, you know. But you'd be, if they saw you face to face, someone who knows that person well would likely be able to tell the difference.
And he's so much bigger than you that if they went to even
Well, if they
come
went to
close
touch
to
me,
touching
yeah.
you,
They would go through.
Yeah, it would go through me.
because he's huge.
Yeah. No, I know.
I think.
I just want to make sure you know the mechanics of that.
Of course.
I think the safest thing to do. I'll stay parked out here in the back. You take the front, and if anyone comes out, we take stock of who it is and what they look like.
Okay, so we just scout.
We don't go inside. It's too risky.
Okay, if you think it's too risky, then it must be. So, okay,
Marvin Bishop needs to be alive.
I agree. Okay, I go to the front. If you see Graven, just keep an eye out for Graven, and then I walk away.
All right. So I'm gonna go towards the crowd near the fire.
Okay.
That still gives me sight of the back entrance, right?
Yeah, the fire is on the north.
And I'm gonna sort of stand in the crowd, but keep an eye on the back entrance. And I just want to basically wait to see if anyone comes out of that back door.
Okay. And Orba, where are you?
Near the front, yeah, I'm gonna hang out. So, I guess, like, across the street from the gate, can I, like, get a full view of gate and front door if I'm across the street? Okay, it's like a parallel.
The bars of the gate are wide enough that you can see clearly through
Yeah,
them.
okay, so I'll just, like, hang out there.
And you guys station yourselves. And we're gonna go over to Beezaura.
Yeah.
A lot has happened since we last met, Beezaura.
Yeah.
Where were you headed?
I was going down to the cafeteria,
Great.
like the area.
So you go down and you're sitting in
Is
the
it,
cafeteria.
what time is it now?
It seems to be almost 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I guess I still assume that everyone's going to the graveyard. Haven't seen anybody.
Saw Yannick.
Everybody's late.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, like, it's 4 o'clock. Maybe I'll stop by the do they have like anything to go at the kitchen?
You could order some food that you could grab, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna styrofoam Big Mac.
Just like a loaf of bread or something.
Yeah, you could definitely get a little
The
bread.
guy at the kitchen, his
Did you get his?
I
Yeah.
think I did. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was in battle mode. Yeah, but I didn't write it down.
For the sake of simplicity, there's quite a few kitchen staff.
Yeah.
You don't, as you peek in, you don't even
Hi.
see the exact same guy.
How you doing?
Oh, good. Yes.
Do you just have something simple I can take on the go?
Easiest would probably be bread or fruit.
Take one of each, actually.
And he sort of takes like a big hunk off a loaf of bread, and he takes a nice big apple. It seems like a nice big one.
Perfect.
Just 5 copper.
Great. Go.
Takes it.
I put the apple in my bag
Sure.
and just have a good day.
You too.
And I just walk out, like, go into the graveyard.
Great.
Because I figured that's where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah. And you make your way all the way to the north end of town, seemingly without incident. You sort of take a slightly circuitous route to avoid near the fire.
Right. Yes. Good thinking.
And you move up towards the north gate. And you don't see anyone as you go. Seems like a nice day out. Some people are you still see some people moving in the direction of the fire. There was a hubbub there, so there's a little bit of commotion. Without incident. You get to the north gate. You finished your bread by then. Or maybe not. Maybe you're reading really slow.
That's fine. I'm good.
And you get outside the gates, and to your right is the graveyard. It's in the daytime, sort of uneasy feeling of the graveyard from the night before is gone. It seems to be at rest at this point during the daytime.
I just take a look around, like, where's everybody
Can you
at?
see anybody? Make a perception check also as you're up here.
Well, that just seems to go along with the day. 3.
3. You look over the graveyard, and you really don't see anything except for the door of the mortuary kind of close on the far end of the graveyard.
Okay.
It's not closed. You saw it close.
Oh, I saw it close. Okay, so I'm here, so I'm gonna walk across and head on in.
And you head over, and you have to step over. Once again, the chains have not been taken down as he sort of roped off the graveyard. And you work your way through the graves, and you sort of walk more along the same path that he guided you through the first time, so as not to step on any graves, disrespect anything. And you get to the mortuary.
Just gonna knock.
And there's a moment.
Who is it?
It's Beezaura.
And you hear sort of a shuffle, and the door opens.
It's good to see you.
You too. Sorry, the rest of my group isn't here yet.
Yes, I thought maybe they came earlier.
Yeah, I suppose they were the ones who told me to meet them here.
When did you say to meet them?
3:00.
Well, perhaps I missed them when I was over at the reservation center.
Perhaps. Well, maybe they're late. We'll see, I guess.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
He sort of dusts off kind of a stool that he sort of puts to the side.
I'm just trying to clean this place up a bit.
Did you meet with Mr. McManus?
Yes, I did. He's amenable to the job.
Great.
Didn't seem to be worried about it. I told him about any potential risks, informed him of what happened last night. He said that it sounded spooky, but not anything that would prevent him from doing the job, so...
Just him alone, or does he have a team?
Oh no, he has a whole crew, 6 or 7 of them.
When will he be doing this?
Probably will start tomorrow.
Great.
I'm planning on digging at least 2 holes in the graveyard, and then maybe a couple more on the other end of town. See what picks up the most potent samples.
Are you still planning on going to the reservation center?
I am, yes.
See if he can meet with you now.
Yes. I really feel like I need to get a hold of Skents.
Yes, I see, that team over there is quite mysterious.
What do you mean?
They, seem to keep to themselves most of the time.
I suppose.
Don't like to divulge too much information.
Well, it's Uriel's job to keep things under lock and key unless it's requested of him.
I see.
But in the past, I've never really had any kind of problem getting a hold of Skents.
And Uriel with the rating system. He's controlling that.
Not controlling it, just record keeping, I think.
I see. Well,
It's up to him to keep the books up to date.
got it. And all the records are kept there.
No, I think they keep copies.
Right, that's what the scribes are for.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we do find answers for Mr. McManus and his team. Be very helpful.
Are you under the impression that your friends will be arriving here?
I haven't seen them all day. I would hope so. I haven't heard from any of them. But,
Are you concerned about that, given last night's events?
well, when I haven't heard from them all day, I do get concerned. Some of them, maybe they ran into trouble.
What kind of trouble?
I don't know. Last I heard, they were just stopping at the bubble shop and making their way around, looking throughout town.
Some kind of trouble with Wesley.
I don't know exactly. Nobody tells me a lot. Hate to say it.
Well, I sympathize.
Oh.
Skents never seems to tell me anything until it's the last minute either.
Right. It's not so fun being on the outside always.
Well, if none of them show up, perhaps the 2 of us will walk over to the reservation center.
I'd be willing to assist you.
Thank you.
Very good at persuading people as well.
Seems like a useful skill.
Indeed
I'm
it
not
is.
very good at that.
Maybe we'll make a good team then.
All right.
Do you need any more help around here?
I'm just picking up the broken pieces. I've already buried the remains.
Understood. Sorry about that.
Was, not much left, but
Jesus.
what there was.
Respectfully laid. Of course.
You're not beholden, but if you'd like to help clean up around the mortuary.
Sure. I'd like to see if my group shows up.
Sure.
Be willing to help.
And you guys start to go about it. You're sort of turning things. He's sort of brushing off some of there's glass pieces on the counters where things had shattered, vials, potions. He seems to be sweeping them kind of up into a little bag that he kind of puts in the corner. He's sort of going about. There's a broom that he hands to you to sort of sweep the floors. You sort of go about your business. And we'll head over a little further north. The clattering of hooves.
Yeah.
What'd you see?
So I want to look around to see if I see any more of these blue sort of footprints.
Make a survival check and make it with advantage as well.
Gosh. Oh, okay. 19.
19, great. So you sort of look around and you see again the sort of shimmering footprints, paw prints, heading up and sort of coming off the path and off to the right a little bit.
Does it look like they've slowed down at all? Like,
no.
Can I tell? No? Okay.
And in fact, you're also able to tell, it seems like it was at a good sprint. Like the distance between the prints indicates great speed that it was moving at.
Okay. Okay, so seeing that this thing is moving at great haste, I'm gonna kind of, without even asking him, whip the horse
Sure.
and take off in the direction that I saw.
You sort of move, and you're moving off, and he sort of grabs onto sort of around your waist, and he leans forward so you can hear him.
Yeah.
You're heading in the direction of the thicket.
I just did the wrong voice.
No, that's okay. I was more like thicket, but.
Yeah.
You're heading in the direction of the thicket.
See, we're all back at the same place.
I'm
it wasn't
totally
Yannick
in.
riding the horse.
Got it.
Yannick's really loud.
And I just, hearing him say that, I just go, wet, just
So there, go.
And
sort of
do I
points.
see that the footsteps track towards
It seems like it's headed towards like a tree line in the distance.
Okay, so I'm gonna...
And you continue to, and you're sort of spotting as you're moving quickly, and you can see the paw prints continue to move, and you get up to the tree line, and then the horse, and it sort of backs up, and the two of you sort of make a dexterity saving throw.
Whoa.
Shoot. Oh. 5.
5, you got 5 as well. And the two of you, it sort of rears back, and the two of you kind of, whoa, and you fall off the back, and then it sort of, and it doesn't run away, but the horse sort of rides back and forth, and it's kind of...
Okay, so
It's mane
looking
brushing
to the
back and
horse's
forth.
reaction, I want to see if there's anything that I can see around.
Sure, you walk up to the edge of the tree line, make another survival check with advantage.
Did you guys fall in love?
I want to
with you
survive
when
better. Oh, no, I'm not surviving very well. Okay, 12.
12, okay, so you get up and you are able to see, now there's sort of, where before it was sort of either dirt or grass, it was pretty flat, now there's sort of some foliage, some brush, and it does seem like the paw prints, you spot one, and then another, and it seems like it's moved further into the thicket there, and you can continue to track it.
Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna walk down.
Great, and you can hear him behind you like, wait, and he sort of sort of tames the horse and grabs his bag off of the horse, and you can hear him behind you, kind of following behind you.
Okay.
Now you continue to follow the tracks. Are you moving quickly, slowly?
I want to move slowly, quickly, but quietly.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Nice, there we go.
22.
So the two of you kind of move through, and you push some of the leaves aside, some of the brush. You get a little further, and you can hear him come up behind you again and sort of whisper in your ear.
Up here just a little way is the big tree I told you about. Where we found the wolves originally. Seems to be going back to where it came from.
And I'm looking for any movement around this tree. I'm looking for Mom. Is
Sure.
what I'm looking for.
So you get up to the edge of this. It's not a big clearing, but it's like a little bit of gap, and then a large tree trunk, and sort of a large tree that sticks up, and then you can see sort of the topiary above you.
Right.
Make a perception check.
Oh, come on, 4.
You look up, you look around, don't see anything that catches your eye right away. And the paw prints seem to go up to the tree, and then that's a little bit outside of your vision. You can't see what happens after the paw prints go up to the tree.
Okay, can I pick up like a twig sort of around me?
Sure, yeah.
Actually, screw that. I'm gonna.
He wants you.
I'm gonna
Never
to
mind.
him. So he's right behind.
Yeah, he's literally like he has his hand on your
So
back
to
and he's
him,
like
kind of
crouching.
I'm like, stay hidden.
You don't want me to go with you.
No, look. Listen, I think this is a delicate thing. I think if she thinks she's going back into a cage, she's going to attack or she's going to run. I'm not sure if Mom's here, but if she is, I want her to know I'm not interested in hurting her cub.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Nice.
Oh, same thing both times. I don't have them up. 18. I look, I don't have.
He sort of looks to you, and you can see this sort of understanding wash over him. I'll be right here. And you can see him sort of reach into his bag, and he sort of takes out a short bow.
Oh, a short bow? Oh,
Yep,
shit.
and an arrow. Just in case.
And I kind of give him like a very warning look at the weapon. And I'm gonna take off my longbow and put that stuff and put my bag sort of next to
Sure,
him.
and he's taking out his weapon, he sort of watches you do that, and you can see him sort of...
She needs to trust me, do you understand?
You're a lunatic, you know that?
And she... fuck it, whatever. So she
knows.
puts the stuff down, puts it next to him, and I'm gonna, on my knees, come out of the thicket like this, and just
Hands
kinda
up, are you sort of moving on your knees, or
I
are you on all
want
fours?
to kind of like come out kind of stealthily, get down on my knees, and put my head down and just wait.
Sure. Make a stealth check as you're sort of moving out.
Like
quietly.
Jordy, when I made him.
Yeah, when you made him
Chalier.
sort of move out. And the grass here is soft. There's not like a lot of twigs and branches like it was going through the woods. And it just sort of makes like a soft... As your knees go down and you move forward. And what are you doing? You're putting your head down, you said?
I'm putting my head down. I want my hands up
Okay.
like this, and I'm just gonna wait for a second.
Okay. And you wait. And you hear... Are you looking up?
Yeah.
Right, you do so. And you see it sort of... Just as the mist that appeared as it was jumping through the door, you see that again. And it materializes back into the wolf. Taboo, the wolf. And the wolf looks at you. It's at the base of the tree. And then it looks up at the tree. And make a perception check with advantage as you follow its eyes up into the tree.
Oh god, I'm gonna need that advantage. Okay, 7.
7. You look up, and you can see peeking out of where the sort of leaves and the trees are. You can see the bottom of a bow and arrow sticking out. It looks like it's caught on a branch, something up in the tree.
Okay, so seeing the bow and arrow.
You can't see if anyone's holding it or anything like that. You just see the bottom, like the curve of the bow and a little bit of the string peeking out.
Okay, so I'm gonna see that and do this and just call up, your dog.
No response.
Okay, so seeing that it's not doing anything to me, I'm gonna put my hand out for Taboo just to see if Taboo's interested.
And again looks to you, and it takes a step forward. Ooh! And looks back up towards the tree.
Yeah, I know your mom doesn't like me very much. Look, I'm not interested in hurting her.
And finally, you see Taboo turn towards the tree and put the claws on the edge of the tree. So now it's like standing on its hind legs up against the tree. And it looks up. Ooh! And as it howls, it turns back into that mist. And it goes up into the tree towards where it was howling.
Right now, Taboo, I'm starting to think that you might not be a wolf.
No response.
If you'd like to tell me what you are, if you can communicate, then I'm a friend, not a foe.
No response. And you can see, you take a quick peek behind you, and Teo's kind of like, like what he just saw a wolf appear and then disappear up into the trees.
I'm unarmed. Look, I'm just interested. I'm gonna take a second and do kind of like a deep bow kind of thing almost.
Mm-hmm.
And look up.
You don't see any
I'm coming up there. Again, just another reminder. Friend, not a foe. And with just a lot of hesitation, a lot of trepidation, she very slowly is gonna put her hand kind of towards the tree, like she's gonna climb.
Nothing stops you? You don't hear anything?
Okay, and with nothing stopping her, she's gonna keep climbing the tree.
Make an athletics check.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, dice.
Oh, okay, it was
damn
a
it.
6, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
literally.
Very
Figure.
The tree trunk there's a good distance from the base of the forest floor to where the branches and the trees are. And it's hard to get up, it's hard to get a hold, and you're unable to find a grip sort of more than 6 or 7 feet above you that you can pull yourself up to.
Okay. Look, I'm sensing you might not want to be disturbed. I'm gonna keep trying to climb.
To make another athletics check.
16.
16.
There we go.
So this time, instead of just trying to slowly scale, you push off with one foot. You just kind of reach up and see if you can grab anything, and your hands kind of slip a little, and then they sort of catch on a sort of knot that's sticking out of the tree, and you hold on with both hands, and you're kind of like dangling there, and you start to pull yourself up a little bit, and as you do so, you start to hear a...
Okay, and hearing that, I freeze. And do I see a nest of anything? Of
Make a perception
wasps
check.
of some kind? Sake. 15. I don't know why I did
15. You look up and you can see it's a dense sort of foliage and things, but you do see some large insects that seem to be circling the area. You catch a peek of one and then again another place. It doesn't seem like you can't see them all quite yet from where you are.
It's just bees.
They seem bigger than bees.
Bees?
I love bees.
Would I know anything from my, being in nature? Do I know what kind of insects these are?
Make a nature check.
No, I don't.
And
Well,
we're
that's
back.
in the garbage place.
And donkeys.
You don't?
Are you sure? Okay. Alright, so seeing that, can I see the dog? Can I see the wolf puppy anywhere? Do I see any?
You can see the
arrow?
you can see the bow peeking out. Yeah, you can see
Okay,
probably
so-
a third of the recurve of the bow and the string.
Now that I can see the bow and the string, can I see anyone holding it?
No, it has kind of a bluish energy around it though.
This fucking tree. Listen, Taboo, I'm a little afraid of those bees.
Again, you don't get a response.
I have no idea if you can understand me. I could be entirely talking to myself, but in the off chance that I'm not...
And you hear from behind you, I can hear you. What are you doing up there?
And hearing that, I go, you're not supposed to even be existing right now. Just kind of wave down at him, shut up.
He's still at the edge, but he can hear you if you're shouting up into the tree. He definitely can hear you as you're speaking.
I know what that arrow is doing. I have to know. Okay, so I'm gonna. How close am I to the insects?
It's hard to tell. The sound is kind of moving around a little bit, maybe 5 more feet.
Okay.
Between 5 and 10 feet. And the bow is probably close, maybe a little less than maybe 6 feet up above you.
Oh.
Okay.
Be quick.
So I wanna reach towards the bow and see if anything happens when I do that.
You do so, and as you get up a little closer, the buzzing does get louder. It's
Okay, yeah.
You can't tell if it's reacting to you or if you're just getting closer to it, but it definitely gets louder.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like bad news. Okay. So alright, fine. So she's gonna get off the tree now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna climb down the tree, and I just want to take several paces away from it so that I can get it further away from me and
Sure.
kind of look. Nothing I see here.
Nothing more than, I mean, again, now that you sort of had heard the sound, you can pick it out a little more, even though you're not as close. You're hearing slightly.
Alright.
And you can still see, again, the piece of the bow sticking out.
Fine, then I'm gonna go back to where he is. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry.
Teo.
Teo. Teo. Inside my bag, there's a flask. Can I have it?
Alright. You sort of take.
What?
What am I looking for?
It's a flask. It's just and I describe it. It's a
Sure, and he roots through it.
This?
yeah, and I'm gonna take it. And I'm kind of looking up into the tree, and I'm gonna unscrew the cap and just stand there and wait.
Are you pouring it out, or?
I'll pour like a little bit of it just out onto the ground.
Okay, and it sort of taps against the ground. Nothing happens. Decidedly nothing happens.
It's
Fair enough. Someone was sniffing in my bag. I thought
No?
I'd check.
What did you see up there?
Would you have any familiarity with a bow and arrow that's glowing blue?
No.
The dog. I don't know what I've seen. I've seen. Jesus. The dog. It went up to the tree and then it became
Could
a
you
bow
see
and
it?
arrow.
The wolf became a bow and arrow. Are you shitting me right now?
this guy.
Does it seem like I'm shitting you? For what reason would your dog went up into the tree and became a glowing
Could you see
bow
it when
and
you got
arrow?
up there?
No,
Why did you go up and you came back down?
There's the wasps of some kind.
Bunch of...
Would
That's
you like
it.
to stick that?
And he takes an arrow out of his quiver.
Why don't we just...
No! And I'm gonna like clam really
Sure.
hard down on. No, you are not. You're gonna fire. You don't even know what the fuck it is. No, absolutely the fuck not. You're not doing that.
What are you gonna do then?
I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm not doing that.
And he sort of sits there in sort of frustration, and he kind of like...
What did you see when you went up the tree?
The dog signaled to me that there was something in the tree. Twice. She looked at me, and then she howled, and then she looked at the tree. So I looked at the tree, and there was the tip.
Forget all that. Look, I'm either going back with my wolf, or I'm going back with whatever that is, because I've lost half a day's work coming out here.
That's not my. It actually is my.
Would you like to finish that sentence?
Realizing what a shitty thing that was, I'm gonna hand a silver out of my bag and give it to him and say, "Look, I'm really sorry for the trouble."
A silver.
I'm gonna get 4 more silver out of my bag and give him 5 silver.
Do you have any idea what I can sell a wolf for?
This particular wolf you're planning on selling for more than 5 silver?
You almost bought
I
it from
can't
me.
even fucking catch it. You want to sell this wolf for 5 silver?
How about you go on your fucking way, and I go up the tree?
I'm gonna walk away from him for a second and just say, and just call up to the tree. Look, I don't know if you can hear me, I don't know if you can even speak fucking English, but if you can, I'm not going to put you in a cage. If you need something from me, you can get it. My name's Safira, I'm here. Look, I'm sorry about your dog, it doesn't seem to be a dog. And then I'm gonna have him 5 more silver so it's in gold, and then I'm gonna walk away.
You're gonna walk in the house.
Yes.
And you hear him kind of look at it and stuff in his pocket, and you can hear him walk towards the tree.
Okay, I'm gonna like I stormed off, but hearing that he walked towards the tree, I need to know what's happening. She absolutely cannot resist the impulse to stop petulantly and go, "Fine, you try it then."
And you see him put a hand on, and he sort of takes his foot in, and he gets up, and he seems to, seeing what you did, kind of pushes himself up, and he grabs the knot of the tree, and he kind of pulls himself up a little more. And he pulls himself up. And he looks up. He grabs another thing. And he looks like he's reaching for the edge of the bow.
Careful.
And he reaches up and he gives one last, and he seems like he got it. And he slides down the tree, and the bow comes with him. And he sort of lands at the base of the tree, and he looks at the bow, and then landing kind of in his lap is this massive sort of webbed mass looking like a nest of leaves.
Okay, so seeing that this has happened, this is what I expected to happen. I'm gonna sprint towards him, like as fast as I can.
Sure.
Grab the thing that fell down, the nest.
Okay.
Right?
It's big. Make an athletics check.
Oh my god.
It's like
11.
11. You streep down, and you're not able to like pick it up, but you're able to move it. You could like roll it.
I'm gonna roll it as far away from him as I can.
You give it a good push, and you hear a.
And I'm gonna grab his arm. Can I do that?
Yep, you can.
And pull him and start running towards the horse.
Great. You start to run. Make a initiative roll.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Okay.
Where's my initiative? Oh. 21.
21. Can you?
We doing it?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh my
I'll
god.
put
Against the
Kuzni
nest.
away and find Safira.
You can leave Kuzni.
Oh my god.
He comes out of the nest.
It was a nest of Kuzni.
He's the one.
Holy boobs. 21.
Teo's 13.
Aw, poor baby. Okay.
And the giant wasps is 11.
13 is Teo. Okay, and wasps are 11. Go for it.
Great. So you hear this, and descending from the tree,
Oh my
coming
god.
down are these huge, like this big, sort of massive, fluttering wasps. And it seems like there's smaller ones too that are kind of circling around them, but it seems like these larger ones are kind of leading the pack. And you guys are sort of running. Are you running, fighting? You're up first. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna run. They're bugs. I'm gonna run away from
Whoa.
them. So I'm pulling
Yes.
him as hard as I can. I'm kind of trying to whack anything out of the way.
Sure.
And can I whistle for the horse? I
Sure.
can't actually whistle. But you know what I'm doing? That's
Whistle.
Yes,
Can
you
I
can
whistle?
whistle.
So
are you moving and using a dash to sprint?
Yes.
Great. So he's going to do the same after you. So what's your movement there?
My movement. Where is my movement?
I think it's up near the top.
30 feet walking.
30 feet. Great. So 30 feet, and then another 30 feet on top of that. So you're able to. So you're 60 feet now away, sort of from the tree. So you guys run, and you hear behind you, and it seems like they're gaining on you very quickly. And the wasps get up to you, and it looks like there's 4 of the big ones, and then a number of smaller ones that may or may not actually do anything.
Okay.
So so with Tail sort of lagging behind, one of them kind of and swoops in and goes for like a sting. And he misses, so he goes in, and Teo still holding on to, or you're sort of holding onto his arm. He sort of dodges out of the way as it kind of flies by on one side. Another one goes for you. 7 to hit.
7 misses.
So another one flies by. Third one goes after Teo, and he hits him. And he kind of hits him with a stinger, and he sort of
I'm
and he's
just
sort of
gonna
holding the
ask
ball in
this
his hand.
idiot and like keep the
He takes.
What do you think was gonna happen?
1d6.
He dies right now. That's the last thing you said.
Aww.
Takes 4 piercing damage. So
Dies.
he sort of pierces, and he also has to make a Constitution saving throw,
God.
Oh, Jesus.
which he fails.
Oh,
I have to carry this motherfucker out of here. I swear to God. I know.
He just takes poison damage. Great.
Oh,
So
God.
he takes 9 poison damage in addition to the 6 piercing damage. So he takes 15 damage. He sort of sticks in. He sort of and he feels the poison come in, and he tosses the bow to you. Are you trying to catch it, or are you going to leave it?
I'm gonna catch it.
Make a dexterity throw. Make a dexterity, not saving throw, dexterity.
And it's just this modifier?
Yep.
Okay. 18.
18, great. So he tosses it, and you catch it behind you, and he takes out sort of a blade that he has. He had sort of a blade in a pocket that he had, and he sort of takes it out ready to attack. There was one more wasp that's going to go after you. 15 to hit?
15 hits.
15 hits, great. So Stinger comes in. and 6 piercing damage, and make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my
God.
goodness. Oh, is that cocked?
No.
No?
That's it.
Oh, okay, 7.
7 fails. Not so bad. You take 6 poison damage.
Okay.
So you feel the stinger kind of and pulls it out, and there's sort of a spurt of blood as it kind of pulls the stinger back out.
Yikes.
And you can hear Teo, I don't know if we can run! And he sort of has his hand ready to go. We're back up to the top. What are you doing?
Okay, so seeing him go, I don't know if we can run. I'm gonna kind of... Can I get him, down to the ground somehow?
Sure.
that's
Like
stupid.
pull him to the ground.
I know it's... I want him
Bait.
to... I want him to, push him onto the ground, because this is... And then I'm gonna take his arrow and aim for the wasp that's nearest.
Great, are you using...
Is that... Can I do that as kind of a bonus action? To just kind of...
Because he's willing, yes. He's not... He sort of
not-
understands that you're trying to help.
I'm not
Yes.
trying to,
Great, so are you using the bow that he just tossed to you?
I think I would use my... That's more accessible.
Your bow is not
It's not
with
like
you.
put it down. I forgot. Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna
That's
use his bow.
not
How many
ideal.
do you
It's not his bow, it's the bow he pulled down from the tree. That's the one he tossed to you.
Oh well, whatever I can get then.
Right?
Do I know what the modifiers are on that bow?
You do know what.
Wolf bow?
Wolf bow.
Wolf bow?
Even if I...
Oh, we're just in here.
It's here somewhere.
Wasn't even
This is
gonna
me pouring water on Jordan's head.
get...
Oh, I was like, why do we do this?
So there's a decent amount of text on this, but I'm going to explain to you the important parts as you're firing it
Okay.
right now. This is called Taboo's Recurve. It's a bow, and after you fire it, it fires like a normal bow, but you can choose to, as a bonus action, activate Animus. And when you do so, and you hit a target, you turn into a wolf.
What?
You turn into a wolf and immediately can make attacks as a wolf, and it has on here the wolf's stats as you're in wolf form. And the wolf
That's
form lasts for
amazing.
5 rounds.
You almost left that in a goddamn tree.
Well, there are wasps that are probably gonna kill me.
You're gonna eat them as a wolf now.
Oh.
Is there a limited number of uses to the wolf?
Once per short rest that you can use the wolf form. It can be used as a normal bow most of the time. So as a normal bow, it also has much reduced stats compared to a regular bow for its
Okay,
regular
fair
attack.
enough.
It has the stats on there.
Okay.
So you're firing.
That's fine. Okay.
So I think it has the same to hit. It's
No, it does not.
No, I think it does.
+5 to hit? Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah,
never
it's
mind.
the same. Dex plus proficiency.
Oh,
Dex,
Dex
proficiency, and
plus
archery, which is the same as
Okay,
your other bow.
okay.
So
Great.
+7, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
+7.
Yeah, man, I'm very proficient.
Great. So you aim.
Yeah, so
Get out of here.
And the wasps are kind of swooping back and forth, so none of them are within 5 feet, so it's not with disadvantage.
19.
19, great, that hits. So the arrow fires. Are you activating the bow's powers? That you can feel. And as you feel, the bow fires and the blue glow of the arrow kind of lights up, and you can feel your fingertips kind of go into the arrow of the bow, and it seems like you get smaller and smaller from your vision.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's where we're gonna end for the evening.
Yeah!
She just starts to howl. You're a wolf.
We're gonna come into the next session.
Oh my goodness.
And we'll pick right back up from there
Holy smokes.
with Safira's new trinket.
Oh my god. We are
thank
never leaving.
you guys so much for joining us.
Yes.
I'm now
Always.
best friends with Yannick.
Hey, another
awesome.
Best friends with Yannick.
Another
Yannick found a
humongous-
kindred soul.
Unexpected, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
He was like, everyone here sucks. And you were like, yeah.
Yeah, man, I feel you.
I'm trying.
Let's go hug it out in the mortuary.
Another big shout out to Comrade Tortel who gifted 5 tier 1 subs to everybody. Anybody who got
They
gifted
were
a
birthday
sub,
subs, by the way.
including
they were happy birthday subs.
Mom got one. I saw it.
feel free to shoot us a DM because we put all of
Can
the.
you tell who the gifted ones were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a list here. So
Go
it's MK Nelson, Hockey Lover Teachings, Leg Act, Mason Hargraves, damn that's long, and Hin Hanska. Any of you guys, if you want to message us,
I'm sure she nails
so
those.
sorry.
So anybody who got a gifted sub, we do not discriminate. Please send us a message. We'll add it to the guest book that plays in the beginning and the end. Hey, a gifted sub, just as good as any other sub.
I'll take it.
Delicious subs.
We had a blast tonight. Thank you guys so much.
Oh my goodness.
We'll be back next Sunday for episode 27.
Oh my gosh.
And
Here we go.
we'll pick it up from there. We'll be right in the middle of combat, and we'll see how it goes.
Hey, happy birthday, Matt.
Happy birthday!
It was your golden birthday too.
I just found out what that
just
was.
found out
30
what
on
your
30.
birthday was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very lucky episode.
Sick, man.
Now all of Twitch knows
He's
how
like,
old
I'm
you
gonna
are.
go on until
yeah.
midnight.
Miracle,
because
thank you
it's
for
my
the
birthday.
follow.
Oh, thank you.
I was
I
just
know
about to
normally we don't
say-
have time to thank for falls just because we're in the middle of stuff, but thank you.
I was
Yes.
just gonna say, oh, some people don't get one because they never turn that age, but that's the sense.
All right.
I mean, most people don't remember theirs because they're like,
they're little.
if you're anything from like
Yes.
1 to 10 in the month.
Right, but I'm saying if you don't
Yes,
make
he's saying
it
if
to
you
like,
To
30
31.
years old.
you know,
We got it.
or you don't make it to 15. But
Let's sign
I'm
off
gonna shut up.
Okay.
We love you. Good
There's a
luck.
bunch of people in our campaign who didn't make it to their golden birthday.
That's true.
True.
And with that,
Oh boy.
Life is fleeting.
Cheers, everybody.
Guys,
See you next week.
see you next week. Good night.
Yeah, good night.